the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 726, Saving Life is No Problem. Although she didn't know how to use mobile banking, she often read about text message scams in the news and newspapers. So, when she heard the inexplicable claim of 3 million yuan arriving in her account, Tang's mother was horrified and unsure what to do. Arrived, Tang Yun was stunned, then said, "It's not a scam. It's medical expenses from Lin Yi's people who manage Kaibing real estate." "Ah, medical expenses from Lin Yi? So that's the real deal." Tang's mother was overjoyed. "I'll check the bank right away. I've never seen so much money in my life." Tang's mother was overjoyed. She had been worrying about buying a house the next day, but now 3 million yuan would be enough to buy any house. Lin Yi was truly amazing. He broke Zhao Kaibing's leg, but instead of asking for medical expenses, he went and asked for 3 million. Old Tang's broken leg was worth it. "Yes," Tang Yun said, without further ado, and hung up the phone. Although Tang Yun didn't care if Chu Mengyao knew her family was poor, she was afraid they would laugh at her mother's greed. Shortly after Tang Yun received the call, Lin Yi received a call from Li Chihu. "Lin Yi, I've already transferred the money to the account you gave me. When can you save my brother?" Li Chihu said bluntly. The relationship between him and Lin Yi was purely one of profit, so there was no need for formalities. "Oh, I'll tell you how. You can do it yourself," Lin Yi said casually. "Just find a surgeon. Cut off the flesh, including the needle, within a 2-centimeter radius. That'll fix it." "What? Cut off the flesh?" Li Shihu's eyes widened at Lin Yi's words. "Are you kidding me? I wouldn't fool you with 3 million, Lin Yi said calmly. "Tell that to the medical expert next to you, and he'll know if I'm right. I don't have time for arguments. This is the only way to save your brother's life. Alright, I'll trust you for now." Li Shihu took a deep breath, suppressing his anger. Lin Yi ignored him and hung up the phone, leaving Li Shihu very depressed. He hadn't felt ignored like this in a long time. Even the Zhao family wouldn't look down on him like this. However, Li Shihu couldn't argue with Lin Yi. He had been wanting to kill Lin Yi for a long time, and as long as he didn't kill him, he would have to endure it. Li Shihu didn't dare to neglect him and directly repeated Lin Yi's words to the Medicine King. Unexpectedly, the Medicine King slapped his forehead and exclaimed, "Why didn't I think of that? Since this true key is difficult to remove, wouldn't it be better to just dig it out and throw it away? It's so simple." Li Shihu was visibly stunned by the Medicine King's reaction. "So, this method Lin Yi mentioned is feasible." "It is feasible. It is also the only way to save Li Yi at the moment. It's just that Li Yi will suffer a little, but there is no problem saving his life," said the Medicine King. Could it be that Lin Yi has another method, deliberately resorting to such a cruel one? Li Shihu was suspicious. In his opinion, Lin Yi would never reveal good things, and if he did, it would be something awful. That shouldn't be possible. After all, once this kind of key is released, it takes a lot of effort to retract it. Even if Lin Yi could do it, he wouldn't lower his strength for 3 million, the Medicine King shook his head. "Besides, I'm afraid Lin Yi hasn't fully recovered yet. He's only slightly stronger than Mr. Zhu. He wouldn't risk his life to treat Li Yi. Forget 3 million, even 300 million is out of the question." Li Shihu felt much more relieved after hearing the Medicine King's explanation. "Now that there's a solution, let's get it done quickly." Chen Yushu burst into laughter after hearing the solutions proposed by Lin Yi and Li Shihu. She felt like she and Brother Arrow had a connection. They were both equally wicked, playing tricks on people without blinking an eye. If this happened, Li Yi would be left in ruins. Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun also felt relieved. As long as no one was killed, punishing Li Yi was the right thing to do. Lin Yi parked his car in front of the night market. As he parked, he saw several modified sports cars, such as Hyundai Coupe and Geely Beauty Leopard. Lin Yi was slightly startled. It should be the same people he met last time, including Pengzhan Group. But now, there was a familiar figure missing. He wondered what Pengzhan Group had been doing in Yanjing City, and why she hadn't returned in so long. When Pengzhan Group was around, Lin Yi had been a little annoyed by her, but now that she was gone, he suddenly didn't have a table mate, and he missed her. He had even promised her dinner. The people didn't pay much attention to Lin Yi's beetle. It wasn't a sports car, and they had no interest in racing Lin Yi. Clearly, they had forgotten about him. Lin Yi and Tang Yun walked behind, while the eldest lady and Chen Yashu walked in front. The four of them entered the night market. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu had never bought anything from the street vendors at the night market before. In the past, they'd always headed straight for the snack street, never stopping there. So, seeing all this today was quite unusual and exciting. The clothes here are so beautiful. They're just like the latest styles from Hong Kong and Taiwan I saw online. They're not even sold in stores, Chen Yashu said, eyeing the clothes curiously. They're all knockoffs. The quality is way worse, and the prices are only 1/10 or even 1/100th of the real thing. Seeing Chen Yashu's excitement, as if she'd found a treasure, Tang Yun explained, fearing she'd been ripped off. Hey, Sister Yao, how about we buy a couple? Even if they're street goods, people will think we're buying the real thing, Chen Yashu suggested. Tang Yun couldn't help but sigh. It was true. Even if Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu wore $10 street goods, no one would believe they were street goods. But even if she wore the real thing, she'd probably still be mistaken for knockoffs, right? Then let's take a look. Chu Mengyao was also a little tempted. After all, many styles were indeed very novel. The four of them came to a street stall that looked of good quality. Tang Yun chose a pair of shorts for herself, while Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu each chose a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. They asked the price, and it was 300 yuan in total. The eldest lady and Chen Yashu didn't know how much these things were worth, and Tang Yun was not very good at bargaining, so the task of bargaining naturally fell to Lin Yi. Can you make it cheaper? Lin Yi asked the boss. 208 is the lowest. The boss also saw that Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu were rich people, so the price was not lowered much. How much? 200, right, Lin Yi repeated, and directly changed the boss's last 8 into the interjection bar, and continued. 200 is too expensive, 150. Chapter 727 The Joy of Bargaining. The boss was stunned and was about to say he'd said 280, not 200, but Lin Yi's next words left him stunned. 200 was too much? Only 150? He looked up at Lin Yi. It didn't seem like he was joking, and his heart tightened. Had he run into someone who knew what he was doing? Those girls before clearly didn't understand the market. They started selecting goods without even asking the price, thinking they'd found a good deal, only to find out the real money was behind them. 150 won't work. 180, 107, the boss was about to say 180, but then he thought, don't let people hear it as 100, and then lose money, so he quickly changed it to 170. In fact, he could sell it for 170, but the profit would be a little less. He had thought he'd make a lot of money, but the result was less than normal. The psychological gap was too big to accept. 150 was close to the original cost, so it didn't matter whether he sold it or not. Just 150. I used to sell this stuff too, Lin Yi said, pointing to a nearby clothing vendor and said, did you see that guy? I used to set up a stall with him on the south side of the bridge. As Lin Yi was speaking, the vendor looked up and saw Lin Yi. He was slightly startled, then recognized him. Dude, you're here again? Has your wife given birth? Not yet. I just came out for a quick stroll, Lin Yi smiled. Then you get busy. I have someone here. I won't chat with you anymore. The vendor nodded to Lin Yi and went back to his own stall. Lin Yi's conversation with the stall owner left the shop owner stunned. He hadn't realized Lin Yi had actually done this before, and he felt a little helpless. Well, since we're in the same business, you should know the purchase price. The 150 you're giving is the purchase price. I don't make much money, so how about adding 10 yuan, 160, okay, Lin Yi nodded, pulling out his wallet and paying. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu suddenly discovered the joy of bargaining. Before, at the mall, apart from getting discounts with VIP cards, they had never experienced this kind of bargaining. Seeing Lin Yi's bargaining, the two followed suit, and began bargaining at the next few stalls. While they didn't get everything down to the lowest price, to Lin Yi's surprise, with Chen Yashu's help, they were able to get many items even lower than Lin Yi expected. However, they mainly enjoyed the pleasure of bargaining and ended up buying a lot of useless things, such as more than 10 hairpins. Since they couldn't use them all, they gave some to Tang Yun. Tang Yun didn't want them at first, but Lin Yi nodded to indicate that she could take them, so Tang Yun took them. But it still felt a bit like taking advantage of someone else. Sister Yao, what do you see over there? It looks like something fun, Chen Yushu asked, pointing to a place not far away. Chu Mengyao looked up and saw a group of people gathered there, throwing something with sandbags. It seems to be a game, throwing things with sandbags, and you get whatever you hit. This kind of game can often be seen in movies. Generally, the good things are placed further back and are not easy to hit. Shall we go and have a look? Chen Yushu became interested. Don't go. It's all a scam. Those things at the back are rigged. My mom and I have been setting up a stall at the night market for over a year, and we haven't seen anyone win the big prize at the back. Only the small things at the front are worthless. No way? Is it because they're not very skilled? Chen Yushu saw that there were many people playing, so it didn't seem like they were rigged. I'm just guessing. Maybe they were just unlucky. Tang Yun saw that Chen Yushu wouldn't listen, so she had no choice. My luck is super good. I'll go check it out. Chen Yushu pulled Chu Mengyao and ran towards the stall. They don't usually come to places like this, do they? Tang Yun shook her head helplessly. They probably haven't played before. Lin Yi sighed. Actually, the eldest lady is quite pitiful. Apart from Xiaoshu, she has almost no friends. Their lives are very fixed, and they go to the same places. They rarely try new things. You know her well. Tang Yun felt a little uncomfortable when she heard Lin Yi talk about Chu Mengyao. How? Lin Yi shrugged. The eldest lady probably doesn't have that kind of thought about me. The reason she's angry with you is because of her little self-esteem. Oh, Tang Yun was stunned. This was the first time Lin Yi addressed this issue directly. You'll understand as you get to know her more, Lin Yi said. The eldest lady is actually quite solitary. She doesn't accept anyone easily, and once she does, she doesn't want to lose them easily. Am I considered her friend now? At least she's more pleasing to the eye than most people. Tang Yun nodded. Everyone has their own struggles. If, as Lin Yi said, Chu Mengyao appears to live in a wealthy family, yet in reality, she has no fun at all, and even bargaining at the night market is a source of pleasure, then you can imagine how monotonous their lives must be. She's not like those rich kids you hear about online, racing cars, flaunting their wealth, or doing anything exciting. You'll see after you see her. Lin Yi shrugged. They don't even like driving. They always let me drive. How could they like racing cars? As for showing off their wealth, do you think they were any different from you? Tang Yun shook her head. It certainly seemed to be the case. Unconsciously, her impression of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu had improved considerably. Let's not talk about that anymore. Let's go over and take a look, Lin Yi said, pointing at Chen Yushu, who is already playing sandbag throwing. She's really gone after all. 10 yuan is like her waist. Although Tang Yun's family had undergone tremendous changes thanks to Lin Yi's intervention and was no longer as poor as before, Tang Yun was not extravagant and remained frugal, never spending a penny more than she should have. 10 yuan for 10 sandbags. Chen Yushu had quickly finished throwing all of them, but her gains were minimal, save for a pen holder. Lin Yi looked at the pen holder. It would only sell for 3 yuan at the wholesale market, so Chen Yushu had lost 7 yuan in just a short while. Of course, that wasn't a big deal for her. Chu Mengyao was slower, throwing only 3 sandbags, but she still managed to find a cell phone chain. Sister Yao, let me help you. Chen Yushu, having run out of her own sandbags, went to Chu Mengyao's. Chu Mengyao naturally wouldn't bother with Chen Yushu about these things. She nodded and signaled that she could throw them away at will. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 728 is coming soon. Chen Yushu threw several sandbags in succession, all of which missed. However, the last one landed on the largest wolf doll in the last row. Oh yeah! I hit it. I won the jackpot, Chen Yushu cheered. However, she was only halfway through her cheer when she was shocked to find that the wolf doll only shook a few times and did not fall to the ground. Instead, it landed steadily on the shelf again. What a pity, little girl, you almost won the jackpot. This wolf doll is authentic, different from those imitations. The boss looked at Chen Yushu with regret and said, your strength is too weak, use more strength next time. Impossible. I used a lot of strength. I can even kill a shark. How come I can't even throw a doll? Chen Yushu suddenly thought of what Tang Yun said before, and immediately stared at the boss with wide eyes. Hey, did you do something? How is it possible? Little girl, don't talk nonsense. I have been doing business here for several years. I am honest and trustworthy. Someone won the jackpot last month. Ask these people who come here often. Last month I put a SpongeBob SquarePants doll here, and this month I changed it to a wolf doll, the boss said quickly. After hearing the boss's words, the people around nodded, confirming that it was indeed true. The thing placed there last month wasn't a wolf doll, but a SpongeBob SquarePants doll. If someone hadn't knocked it away, how could it have been replaced with a wolf doll? Then I'll try again. Chen Yushu, unconvinced, spent another 10 yuan to buy 10 sandbags and started throwing. There's definitely something wrong, Tang Yun whispered to Lin Yi. Yeah, I can see that, but it's rare for them to play. They're cooped up at home, so they rarely have such fun, Lin Yi said. Chen Yushu threw 4 or 5 sandbags and landed on a fishman doll, but it was too small and worthless. With the 6th sandbag, Chen Yushu's luck flared up again, hitting the wolf doll. However, just like last time, the wolf doll wobbled a few times before standing firmly there again. The boss hadn't expected Chen Yushu to be so lucky, even hitting the wolf doll, and he felt a bit embarrassed. If she hadn't used enough force the first time, she wouldn't have done it the second time either. It's a bit far-fetched, isn't it? But the boss was a seasoned con man after all, and he lied without blinking. You're still not strong enough. It seems you've tried your best, but the distance is too far. I suggest you go for the smaller medium-sized dolls up front. Chen Yushu gritted her teeth in anger. Turning to Lin Yi, she said, Brother Arrow, come help Xiaoshu. I want that wolf doll. Oh, then I'll try. Lin Yi also suspected there was something wrong with the wolf doll, so he didn't refuse. The boss was eager to change someone else. Chen Yushu's luck was too good, she'd hit it twice in a row. If she couldn't beat it the third time, it would really mean something. So he quickly said, yeah, let's switch to a younger guy with more strength. Oh, you don't only have one doll, do you? If I knock it out, what will happen to the others? Lin Yi was thinking, one doll isn't enough. He should at least give one to Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Tang Yun. I'm running a business, how could I possibly only have one ready? I have more, go ahead and hide it, the boss thought to himself. Let's see if you can knock it down first. I've seen people like you before, who isn't full of confidence. And in the end, you still end up hitting nothing. Okay then, Lin Yi casually picked up a sandbag and threw it without even aiming or even looking. The boss couldn't help but scoff at Lin Yi's expression. Is he trying to show off? Is he trying to show off? If he can actually hide it, it's going to be a disaster. Bang! The sandbag hit the wolf figurine squarely, knocking it to the ground. Huh? The boss stared at the scene in disbelief. Was this really a disaster? How could it hit? And even knock it off? He had applied a layer of foam glue to the shelf, which adhered perfectly to the plastic bag at the bottom of the wolf figurine. Even if it fell off, no one would notice because the foam glue was already attached to the shelf. But no one had ever knocked it off. Did the foam glue lose its effectiveness over time? Or was it because the doll had been hit twice by Chen Yushu and it had become a little loose? So that's why Lin Yi hit it? The boss was heartbroken, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't go back on his word in front of so many people, right? But in order to attract customers, the boss used genuine dolls, and each doll cost hundreds of dollars. He was really unwilling to give it away like that. Every once in a while, the boss would find a shill and pretend to win the jackpot. In fact, it was his own relatives pretending to be him. All kinds of aunts and uncles would take turns pretending to be players and take away the jackpot, but in fact, it was just his own family who returned to his own home. After a while, when people had forgotten about the doll, he would put it in a new plastic bag and let people think he had a new stock, and no one would suspect anything. But today, he failed. Oh, if I had known this, I would have pretended to check it and reinforce the foam glue. Congratulations, young man. You're the first person to win the jackpot this month. The boss felt bad, but with so many people watching, if he cheated, would he still be able to do business? He decided to simply hand the doll to Lin Yi, which would also advertise his stall. Anyone else want to play? You might be the next big winner. Act quickly. Oh, it's coming soon. Lin Yi took the wolf doll and handed it to Chen Yushu. Wow, Brother Arrow is amazing. Chen Yushu happily accepted the wolf doll. Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun were a little envious, but they couldn't say anything. Chen Yushu, after her joy, said, "Brother Arrow, you can't be partial. You have to give one to your first wife and your girlfriend too." Lin Yi had wanted to continue playing, but Chen Yushu's words put him in a difficult position. If he continued playing, wouldn't that be tantamount to admitting that Chu Mengyao was the first wife? It's okay that Tang Yun is his girlfriend. Xiao Shu, stop talking nonsense. Chu Mengyao kicked Chen Yushu and said to Lin Yi, "Just hit Tang Yun once, I don't want any more." "Oh, there are 2 sandbags left, just enough to hit 2 more first prizes, one for each of us." Lin Yi smiled. Chapter 729, Hit another one? The boss, who was rearranging the jackpot, suddenly heard Lin Yi's words and couldn't help but laugh. "Aren't you afraid of your tongue getting caught in the wind? And one for each person? You think you're a sharpshooter, huh? You got lucky before, but this time I've reinforced the foam rubber. Let's see how you manage it." He only thought about it, of course, and couldn't say it out loud. Turning around, his smile still beaming, he said, "Haha, then I wish your dream come true." The onlookers gathered around curiously, wondering if he was just boasting or actually possessing any real skill. Lin Yi casually picked up another sandbag and threw it casually, without aiming or even using all his strength. Everyone was immediately disappointed, but the boss was secretly delighted. They all assumed Lin Yi had already won the jackpot and would just throw the next sandbag casually, giving up. But then something unexpected happened. Bang! It hit the pleasant goat figurine the boss had just placed. Pleasant goat didn't even sway before Lin Yi's sandbag hurled it directly to the ground. "Ah!" The boss let out a desperate cry, but it was instantly drowned out by the cheers of the surrounding crowd. "Amazing! Another hit! Incredible, boss, I want to play too. Give me the 10 yuan one, 20 yuan. I just can't believe it. I, Li Xiansu, are known as the unbeatable lucky star, but I'm not as good as him." The boss gave the pleasant goat figurine to Lin Yi with a distressed look on his face. But then he breathed a sigh of relief when he heard everyone eager to try it out. Thankfully, the advertising effect was significant, and it had already brought in quite a few customers. Lin Yi took the pleasant goat figurine and handed it to Chu Mengyao. "Give it to Tang Yun." The young lady was a little embarrassed to accept it. Tang Yun was still there, and Chu Mengyao felt she shouldn't have the figurine first. Chen Yushu had already asked for one, and it would be awkward for her to ask for another. "Oh, there's one sandbag left. I'll give her another one," Lin Yi said, weighing the last one. The boss who was arranging the figurines nearly fainted after hearing Lin Yi's words. Hit another one? Wouldn't he lose everything then? Would he even be able to do business? However, he couldn't stop Lin Yi from hitting. That would make it even harder for him to do business. When others missed, you were happy to collect the money, but when they hit, you didn't want them to continue hitting. How could that be logical? So the boss could only grit his teeth and stand there praying that Lin Yi wouldn't hit. If he lost 3 dolls in a row today, then all his work these past few days would have been in vain. However, things would not turn out as he prayed. If his prayers really worked, he would have become a millionaire long ago and wouldn't have to set up a stall here. Bang! The last sandbag hit the largest doll without any suspense. It was an airy doll. The boss nearly had a heart attack. He felt like he was about to faint, but he knew that if he did faint, he would become a laughingstock. He could only swallow the pain and handed the early doll to Lin Yi, congratulating him. "You're really amazing, young man. 3 championships in a row." "Oh, it's okay," Lin Yi said calmly, taking the Ollie doll and handing it to Tang Yun. "This is for you." Tang Yun liked Ollie more than Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf. Seeing Lin Yi give Ollie to her, she couldn't help but feel happy. "Thank you." "Oh, Brother Arrow, you're amazing. How about another 10 yuan one?" Chen Yushu asked with a smirk, seeing the boss's forced smile. "Okay, Xiaoshu, let's go look for something else and let someone else have the chance." Chu Mengyao also knew when to quit while she was ahead. It wasn't easy for these small businesses. These dolls would cost thousands of yuan, and the boss must be heartbroken. But Chu Mengyao wouldn't give him any compensation. That's how business works. There are gains and losses, and not all of Daddy's business is profitable. Lin Yi had no intention of continuing to throw sandbags, and left the stall with Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Tang Yun. The owner finally breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that if you stand by the river too often, you'll get your feet wet. Even his own foam glue wasn't safe. But the loss was the loss. Hadn't he attracted so many people? The owner didn't believe there was anyone with Lin Yi's strength. Wouldn't he make it all back then? Sure enough, with Lin Yi's example, the owner found a blessing in disguise. More people came to throw sandbags. In a blink of an eye, the owner was earning hundreds of yuan, while the others were only giving out small items worth a few dozen yuan at most. His smile spread from ear to ear again. However, his joy was a little premature. Not long after Lin Yi left, another young man won the jackpot, the biggest doll. He just didn't knock it over. The young man was clearly annoyed. I hit it too, why didn't it drop? Your strength isn't good enough. That guy just now had a lot of strength, the boss thought. How can you guys always hide it? Then what? He thought. Is my strength weak? I'm a fitness trainer at XX Fitness Center. Why wouldn't I believe my strength is even greater than that pretty boy's? The young man stared in disbelief. I'm saying, did you do something? What could I do? That guy just now had 3 jackpots at once. Everyone saw it, the boss felt a little guilty. Yet, why did he hit 3? I know. He must have been one of your shills. He made us see him win, so we'd get him to spend money, right? The young man demanded. Impossible. I don't even know them. The boss felt more confident now. He truly didn't recognize Lin Yi and the others. In that case, let me check the doll and see if there's anything wrong with it. The young man, still unconvinced, pushed past the boss and headed towards the shelf where he kept his items. You can't just come in casually. The boss tried to stop him, but how could he be a match for the young fitness coach? He was quickly pushed aside, and the young man tried to grab the largest doll, but couldn't move it. He was stunned for a moment, and tried hard to grab it, but saw that there were a lot of foam glue on the shelf under the doll. After seeing it, the young man sneered, okay? You are just lying like this? There are foam glue underneath. No matter how strong a person's hands are, it is impossible to move these foam glues from such a distance. Aren't you lying? The boss was immediately dumbfounded. Seeing that he had been exposed and there was no way to cover it up, he hurriedly explained, I also put some foam glue on it just now, and that person was moved. Chapter 730 There's business to discuss. Are you kidding me? You definitely didn't put it on just now. The young man naturally didn't believe the boss's words. If this boss could use so much foam glue to deceive people, how could anyone believe what he said? I really did put it on. The boss' heart sank. He was exposed. Would he still do business with him in the future? I don't care if you put it on or not, just give me back my money. I spent 30 yuan on this game with you, give it back now. The young man was a little impatient and didn't want to listen to the boss's explanation. Okay, I'll give you my money back right away. The boss wanted to keep the peace. After all, how could he be a match for the fitness coach? We want a refund too. Give us your money back quickly. I played here yesterday, and me, I played here the day before yesterday, I played here half a year ago. Give me a refund too. The boss fainted on the ground and foamed at the mouth. His cash box was emptied by the crowd. Those who didn't get any money started to snatch his dolls and gifts. In an instant, there was nothing left in the stall. When the boss woke up, he found that he had nothing left. But who can he blame for this? Who made him do business dishonestly? Lin Yi naturally didn't know that the boss was so unlucky after he left, but even if Lin Yi knew, he wouldn't care about him. What does it have to do with Lin Yi? At this moment, Lin Yi had accompanied the eldest lady and Xiao Shu to the fried mushroom stall. This kind of food is unhealthy, it's best not to eat it. Tang Yun saw Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu happily eating and couldn't help but remind them, if you want to eat it, you can make it at home. That's right, Wrigley, do you know how to make fried mushrooms? Chen Yashu thought about it and agreed. The food outside was not clean. Who knew if it was unwashed mushrooms or made with gutter oil? I know, Lin Yi learned after watching the boss make it. Then make it for us from now on, and we won't have to eat it out. Chen Yashu was overjoyed. Finally, they could enjoy delicious fried mushrooms at home. Tang Yun rubbed her smooth forehead, feeling a little annoyed. She was really looking for trouble and causing trouble for Lin Yi. Knowing that Lin Yi could fry mushrooms, Chen Yashu no longer had the heart to eat anymore. She could eat it every day, so she wouldn't have to eat too much at once and die. After eating the fried mushrooms, Lin Yi saw that it was almost time and offered to take Tang Yun back to the hospital. With the eldest daughter and Chen Yashu around, Lin Yi couldn't do anything with Tang Yun. The four of them were a bit awkward together. Tang Yun naturally shared Lin Yi's sentiments and agreed to his suggestion. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu had come with Lin Yi for some reason. They'd come back from a very fruitful day and didn't want to continue their shopping. They had school tomorrow, and sleeping too late wouldn't allow them to get up the next day. Chen Yushan and Song Lingshan left in Jianwen's hospital room. Song Lingshan frowned. Your friend is a bit strange. He had his kidney removed, and there seems to be some hidden story. I haven't been in touch with him for years. If I hadn't come back for business this time, I wouldn't have contacted him. Chen Yushan shook his head. But the N family has been quite powerful in recent years, becoming the most powerful of the 5 minor families. They're just using some shady ways to make their fortune. We'll deal with them sooner or later, Song Lingshan said calmly. Hey, do you have time for dinner? Chen Yushan asked Song Lingshan after leaving the hospital. No, I'm busy with cases, and I don't want to waste time. Song Lingshan flatly rejected Chen Yushan's offer. Besides, I'm in uniform and would need to change, which would be too much trouble. Actually, I'm here to discuss business with you. Chen Yushan was confident this time. He was in Songshan City on a confidential mission, but since one of the steps required cooperation with the local police, Chen Yushan, after consulting his superiors, was ready to contact Song Lingshan. However, according to procedure, Chen Yushan would have to contact the local police chief first. But Chen Yushan had already contacted Yang Huaijin, and Song Lingshan, as the captain of the criminal investigation team, happened to be in charge of this matter, so this was a legitimate excuse. Business, Song Lingshan was slightly taken aback. If it's business, let's talk in my office. Forget about dinner, it's probably dinner time now. We can't talk on an empty stomach, can we? Chen Yushan said with a wry smile. Okay, let's have 2 fast food meals, Song Lingshan said calmly. There's a cafeteria inside this hospital. Okay, Chen Yushan said, but fast food at least meant they were eating together. It was just that the atmosphere was definitely missing. The 2 of them arrived at the hospital cafeteria. Although Song Lingshan was dressed in a police uniform and Chen Yushan in an armed police uniform, few paid them any attention. With many police officers stationed at the hospital lately, eating their work meals in the cafeteria was common practice. Chen Yushan wanted to go to a private room and order a few dishes, but Song Lingshan simply ordered 2 fast food meals. Her decisiveness didn't allow Chen Yushan any objections, and Chen Yushan could only smile wryly. Whatever you want, just tell me. Song Lingshan found a quiet corner, placed the fast food meals on the table, glanced at Chen Yushan, and asked, if you're looking for me on business, you should contact my supervisor, the director, first. I've already given Yang Huaijin a heads up. Chen Yushan naturally wouldn't give Song Lingshan an excuse to refuse him. Okay, Major Chen, is there anything we can help you with? Song Lingshan nodded and asked. Chen Yushan felt a sense of helplessness when he heard Song Lingshan's tone. Could Song Lingshan just talk to him like a friend? We were on border patrol and discovered a cultural relic smuggling ring. We engaged in a fierce exchange of fire as they crossed the border. The ringleaders are a couple who are well known in the cultural relic black market, Chen Yushan briefly explained. This should be about you cooperating with the local police and cultural relics department, not the Songshan police, right? Song Lingshan had naturally heard of this couple thieves. They were a well-known gang of tomb robbers, led by a man and a woman who became known as the couple thieves. In fact, a wanted warrant had already been issued for the couple, but no one knew their true identities. They always wore masks, making their true identities impossible to discern. That's the theory, but we found a work notebook on them, Chen Yushan said, lowering his voice. It records their next plan of action. Chapter 731. That's natural. Let's eat first, and then I'll come to my office later. Song Lingshan nodded, interrupting Chen Yushan. Although no one was paying attention to them in the corner of the cafeteria, Song Lingshan, out of professional caution, still didn't want to discuss work in public. Chen Yushan nodded as well, quickly finishing his fast food. Song Lingshan remained silent during the meal, and Chen Yushan tried to find a topic unrelated to work. Do you know Lin Yi? What do you want to say? Song Lingshan frowned. You seem familiar with him? He seems very powerful, Chen Yushan asked tentatively. More powerful than you? Song Lingshan said without hesitation. Of course, Chen Yushan said with conviction. Song Lingshan was speechless. She had expected Chen Yushan to be dissatisfied, but she didn't expect him to say of course. Song Lingshan couldn't help but shake her head. Chen Yushan was such a softie. With his personality, he would never become a strong person. Song Lingshan didn't know the reason. If it were someone else, Chen Yushan might not be convinced, but in front of Lin Yi, all he could do was admire him. Seeing that Song Lingshan didn't seem to want to talk to him, Chen Yushan stopped talking and quickly finished the fast food in front of him. Song Lingshan also came from the special forces, so she was not shy when eating, and she was no slower than Chen Yushan. After the two finished their meal, they arrived at the parking lot one after the other. Chen Yushan drove an Audi A6 with an armed police license plate, a typical official car. Song Lingshan drove a civilian-branded Cheetah. The two cars left the hospital and headed straight for the Songshan City Police Department. In Song Lingshan's office, she poured Chen Yushan a glass of purified water, and they sat down on the sofa, facing each other. Major Chen, you may continue, okay, Chen Yushan nodded. He spoke business, his usual timidity gone, which actually pleased Song Lingshan. We found the work notes of the thieves, a couple. They recorded the time of their next crime, and the location was a tomb near Songshan City. Oh? A tomb near Songshan City? Song Lingshan was slightly taken aback. She had never heard of any dynasty establishing its capital in that area. Even if there were small tombs, they would likely belong to ordinary people, something tomb robbers wouldn't have bothered to find. I'm not sure about that, because the work notes don't specify the tomb's location. They just mention going to Songshan City first, so I assume it's somewhere nearby, Chen Yushan said. You want to find this tomb? That doesn't seem like your job, does it? Song Lingshan was confused as to why Chen Yushan was looking for a tomb. This tomb was discovered by 3 gangs of tomb robbers, and the couple was one of them, Chen Yushan said. You mean, you want to catch all 3 gangs? Song Lingshan was no fool, and immediately thought of Chen Yushan's intention. That's right, Chen Yushan nodded. First, we want to catch them all in one fell swoop, and second, we want to use their abilities to explore this tomb. A tomb that these people have set their sights on must be extraordinary. Having them explore the route first also provides information and convenience for our archaeologists. What can we do for you? Song Lingshan understood Chen Yushan's intention. This mission was somewhat dangerous. Not only would they have to capture those dangerous tomb robbers, but they would also have to accompany them on their exploration. According to the work notes of the couple of thieves, when they first explored the tomb, they found it to be extremely dangerous. However, the more dangerous the tomb, the more likely it is to contain valuable treasures, so they didn't want to give up, and they were not sure they could enter, Chen Yushan said. Then they contacted the famous domestic archaeologist Liu Bojia. Liu Bojia. Song Lingshan was stunned when she heard the name. Are you talking about Liu Bojia from our Songshan City? The free explorer Liu Bojia. That's right, it's him. Chen Yushan nodded and continued. Liu Bojia is nominally a free explorer and a special correspondent and writer for many magazines, but in fact he is secretly connected with a tomb robbing group. Liu Bojia's family was attacked by a perverted murderer a while ago. I think you know about this, Song Lingshan suddenly realized. Are you looking for us because of this Liu Bojia? That's right. Liu Bojia has been in the hands of the Songshan City Police. If we want to find the tomb, we have to start with him. He's the only one who knows the location, Chen Yushan said. Those tomb robbing gangs, including the couple, found Liu Bojia and wanted to use him to enter the tomb. However, after a thorough investigation, he withdrew, claiming the tomb was too dangerous. But they were afraid he would leak the information, or wait for them to give up and take the treasures for himself, so they killed him to silence him. I see. No wonder Liu Bojia refused to cooperate with us. I think he knows why he was attacked, but if he reveals the reason, he'll inevitably be implicated, and the charges he faces will be serious. Song Lingshan finally understood Liu Bojia's concerns. It turned out he was secretly a tomb robber. I wonder if Liu Bojia left any confession or information before, Chen Yushan asked. No, he refused to cooperate with us. We didn't think much of it at first, but we had no idea there was such a big hidden story. Song Lingshan shook her head, feeling a little regretful. If she had known this would happen, she would have protected Liu Bojia no matter what. How is Liu Bojia doing now? I heard from Yang Huaijin that he doesn't seem to be doing well, Chen Yushan sighed. All the clues were focused on Liu Bojia. If something really happened to Liu Bojia, with so much surrounding scenery around Songshan City, where could they find a grave? He hasn't woken up yet, but he's being kept alive by a ventilator. Song Lingshan said this, and suddenly thought of Lin Yi. Hadn't he promised to treat Liu Bojia? Why hadn't he heard from her? Had he forgotten? It seemed very likely. Song Lingshan had been preoccupied with a kidney harvesting ring case recently, and for the time being, she had put Liu Bojia's matter aside and didn't ask Lin Yi about it. But Lin Yi seemed to have forgotten about it. Song Lingshan knew that Lin Yi was of this character. He would not bother with anything that did not concern him. It was impossible to expect him to come to her on his own initiative. She had to urge him to find her. Chapter 732, Let him give up. That complicates the situation, Chen Yushan frowned. What did the doctor say? The doctor definitely has no solution. Song Lingshan shook her head. Chen Yushan wasn't stupid either, he could discern something from Song Lingshan's words. The doctor had no solution, but Song Lingshan's tone suggested someone else might. So, with some surprise, he asked, Lingshan, is there anything else? Call me Song Lingshan or Officer Song, she said, a little annoyed. You're just calling me Lingshan, okay, Song Lingshan, do you have any other ideas? Chen Yushan said helplessly. I don't, but someone does. Thinking of Lin Yi, Song Lingshan felt a headache. Could it be that she had to ask Lin Yi for Chen Yushan's favor? It was fine for herself, but for Chen Yushan, hey, favors are something you use less and less each time. Acting like a retard or a fool would no longer be a novelty. What if Lin Yi got annoyed? But, for both public and private reasons, Song Lingshan couldn't just ignore it. From a public perspective, he also had a role to play in this matter. After all, the armed police were cooperating with the local police. From a private perspective, regardless of his personal relationship with Chen Yushan, he would have done a great deed if he had solved this case. Although it was a joint operation, no one could take away the credit for the local police. Is it troublesome? Chen Yushan asked carefully. It's okay. Let me make a call, Song Lingshan sighed. It seemed that he could only call Lin Yi himself and ask Chen Yushan to talk to his sister and Lin Yi. Maybe it would work, but after going around in circles, it always felt a little unreliable. After all, he was the one who asked Lin Yi for this matter first. If Chen Yushan got involved at this moment, it would be bad if Lin Yi thought that he was using Chen Yushan to instruct Chen Yushu to put pressure on him. Okay, Chen Yushan nodded. Song Lingshan dialed Lin Yi's number, feeling a bit uneasy. As the call went through, she felt a surge of regret. She shouldn't have called in front of Chen Yushan. What if Lin Yi refused? Would she have to act like a spoiled child? How embarrassing would it be if Chen Yushan heard it? She had always been a strong-willed woman, never like this since she was little. If this got out, she would be so embarrassed. However, before she could think about it, Lin Yi, who was already on his way back to the hospital with Tang Yun, had answered the phone. Hello, this is Song Lingshan. How's the last time you promised me to treat Liu Bojia? Song Lingshan asked cautiously. Who is Liu Bojia? Song Lingshan's guess was correct. Lin Yi had long forgotten about Liu Bojia, and Song Lingshan hadn't mentioned it since then. How could he have the energy to keep such a thing in mind? It's the one in the hospital who was hurt by the psychopathic killer, Song Lingshan explained. That guy? He's hard to save. Let's leave it at that for now. I have things to do, Lin Yi said, and then hung up. He had already parked the car at the hospital and had to say a few goodbyes to Tang Yun. Previously, Lin Yi hadn't been confident he could save Liu Bojia because his injuries were too severe. However, after what happened to Pengzhan, Chu Mengyao, and his own injuries, Lin Yi discovered that the energy within his body could quickly repair his own injuries and those of others. Liu Bojia's injuries were truly severe, and they would undoubtedly consume most of Lin Yi's energy. There was no need for Lin Yi to lose his level because of him. Although he could recover almost overnight, he had no relationship with a man, so why would Lin Yi bother saving him? Song Lingshan was a little annoyed that Lin Yi hung up on her, but she also heard something in his words. Lin Yi said it was difficult to save him, not that it was impossible. Did that mean there was hope? Song Lingshan hesitated, then called Lin Yi again. Chen Yushan, standing nearby, didn't see anything wrong. Generally speaking, powerful people have tempers, and asking them for favors isn't something you can do with just a phone call. After Lin Yi sent Tang Yun away, Song Lingshan called again. Lin Yi didn't return to the car, but stood by it and answered the phone. Anything else? Good man, please help me, Song Lingshan said, then suddenly remembered that Chen Yushan was right next to her, and she felt a little anxious. But then Song Lingshan thought, this is a good opportunity to make Chen Yushan give up. With someone more capable than him as a comparison, Chen Yushan wouldn't be bothered by her anymore. It would be a big problem solved. With this thought, Song Lingshan felt relieved. That silly little girl needs your help. Can you help me save her? At most, she'll repay you by making you something delicious later. Chen Yushan's eyes widened in shock. This was Song Lingshan? Was he seeing things? When had Song Lingshan become like this? If the person in front of him hadn't been Song Lingshan, Chen Yushan would have thought she was some little girl flirting with her boyfriend, just by hearing her voice. How could it be possible? Chen Yushan rubbed his eyes, unable to believe it. Song Lingshan had always been so strong, how could she be like this? Could it be that the person who answered the phone was a woman? But it didn't seem likely. Song Lingshan's tone made it clear she was talking to a man. Moreover, she even called herself little silly girl? Chen Yushan's heart nearly exploded when he heard this name. Song Lingshan calling herself little silly girl was too surprising, wasn't it? This name seemed like a nickname between lovers. Lin Yi was speechless at Song Lingshan's plea, but he still softened his heart and said, "Okay, I'll go see her tomorrow when I'm free." "That's great, thank you so much." Song Lingshan made her voice sound sweet and coquettish. "You're welcome." "Okay, I'm hanging up." Lin Yi hung up the phone and returned to the car. Song Lingshan breathed a sigh of relief. "Okay, done. This trick really works every time. As soon as I act coquettishly, Lin Yi compromises. It seems to be working really well." Song Lingshan was feeling proud, but suddenly she remembered that Chen Yushan was sitting opposite her, and her expression froze. "Song Lingshan, you?" Chen Yushan looked at Song Lingshan in disbelief. "What? Is there a problem?" Since Song Lingshan decided to hit Chen Yushan, her expression became natural. "The person you called just now," Chen Yushan couldn't help asking. "This is my private matter," Song Lingshan said lightly. "It has nothing to do with the case, right?" "Of course not." Chen Yushan smiled bitterly, his expression a little lost. "Song Lingshan, you have a boyfriend? Tomorrow, my friend will come to the hospital to save Liu Bojia, and if you have any questions, just ask Liu Bojia directly," Song Lingshan said. "I will also participate in the operation." Chapter 733 Song Lingshan's boyfriend? Song Lingshan had gone to great lengths to beg Lin Yi, so naturally she wouldn't give the credit away for nothing. Therefore, if this tomb robbing gang case was successfully solved, it would be a great achievement for her. Of course, Chen Yushan actually wanted to go on the mission with Song Lingshan, but Song Lingshan's earlier call had him feeling a bit hesitant. "Since everything's settled, Major Chen, can you please leave?" Song Lingshan asked, looking at Chen Yushan. "Now that we've finished this official business, can I ask you something personal?" Chen Yushan still had some hope. What personal matter? Song Lingshan knew exactly what Chen Yushan was going to ask, but she said, "You can ask, and I can choose not to answer." "Hey, the person you called earlier was your boyfriend." Chen Yushan decided to give up on this, but he had to know for sure. "Not yet, but I'm pursuing him," Song Lingshan said after a moment's thought. "You pursuing him?" Chen Yushan's eyes widened. "Why, no," Song Lingshan chuckled inwardly. "You're finally giving up this time, right?" "It's not that I can't, it's just a little strange." Chen Yushan shook his head. "The tone you used on the phone earlier didn't sound like you." "Is he a doctor?" "Sort of," Song Lingshan said honestly. Lin Yi couldn't really be considered a professional doctor, only half. "Sort of." Chen Yushan was slightly stunned, not quite understanding what sort of meant. "Did you vow to find a man stronger than you?" "He's a doctor, how can he be stronger than you?" Chen Yushan was a little dissatisfied. Was Song Lingshan just trying to trick him? She talked about finding a man stronger than her, so why did she now find a doctor as her boyfriend? "Better than me? Who told you a doctor can't be better than me?" Song Lingshan frowned. "There's a problem with your logic. Besides, he's not really a doctor. He just makes a cameo appearance occasionally." "Guest appearance?" Chen Yushan smiled bitterly. "Then do I have no chance?" "You never have," Song Lingshan said bluntly. "First, I don't like men like you. Second, I've already broken through to the late yellow rank. Do you think you can surpass me?" "Late yellow rank?" Chen Yushan gasped. "It's only been a few days?" Song Lingshan had just touched the barrier of the late yellow rank a few days ago, and she's already reached the late yellow rank in just a few days? This terrifying upgrade speed is rare even among aristocratic families. "You don't believe it?" Song Lingshan asked. Immediately, Song Lingshan's energies coalesced, her aura shocking Chen Yushan. She was indeed a late-stage Huangji. "I believe it," Chen Yushan sighed. "But your friend is even more powerful than you, he helped me break through." Song Lingshan blushed as she spoke. Remembering that day in the basement, she felt a surge of heat. She hadn't even managed to break through in such a humiliating situation. However, it made sense to say that Lin Yi had helped her break through. After all, her fantasies at the time had been with Lin Yi. It seems I really can't compare. Chen Yushan, devastated by Song Lingshan's blow, practically gave up hope. By the way, isn't he an old man? There don't seem to be any younger men with greater strength than you, are there? Grandpa Song wouldn't approve of you marrying someone so much older than you, would he? This was Chen Yushan's only hope. No, Song Lingshan replied calmly. If you want to know, you'll see it at the hospital tomorrow. Song Lingshan kept the question a secret, not directly mentioning Lin Yi's name. It's better to keep this matter a little mysterious. Okay, Chen Yushan sighed in disappointment. Tang's mother held a bank account book, her face beaming with joy. She had never seen so much money in her life, 3 million, a full 3 million. Adding the previous 500,000, a total of 3.5 million. Has she become a legendary millionaire? Old Tang, take a look at this account book. Is there 4 zeros on it? There is 35 in front, a total of 7 digits, Tang's mother asked Tang Zhechen, holding the account book and unable to let go. It's 3.5 million. You have shown it to me more than 10 times, Tang Zhechen was indifferent. Too many things have happened in the family recently, but since Lin Yi came, the family has obviously been getting better and better. Your broken leg is worth it, Tang's mother said jokingly. Come on, Tang Zhechen laughed at himself. My leg? I'm afraid it's not worth a penny in the eyes of others. It's not the first time I broke it before. I've been lying in bed for so many years, and now I want a penny? If it weren't for Lin Yi this time, let alone 3 million, it would be difficult for them to give me 30,000. I'm kidding, Tang's mother also knew it. She didn't know how Lin Yi got the money, but Lin Yi was still capable. He broke the leg of the chairman of Kaibing Real Estate Company, and he had to pay him compensation. Tang Yun's mother and Tang Zhechen were talking when she pushed the door open and walked in. Seeing her parents' faces beaming with smiles, she couldn't help but wonder, Dad, Mom, what are you talking about? Why are you so happy? Aren't you talking about the 3 million? Xiaoi is amazing. He managed to get 3 million just like that. Tang Yun's mother happily waved a bank card and account book in her hand. Tell me how you got it. Nothing much? Lin Yi beat up Li Dilei, the younger brother of Zhao Kaibing's subordinate Li Chihu. Then Li Chihu came to plead for mercy, and Lin Yi asked him for 3 million for Dad's medical expenses. Tang Yun briefly recounted the incident, omitting the specific details to avoid worrying her mother. Huh? Tang Yun's mother and Tang Zhechen's eyes widened simultaneously. Is this even possible? Beat up someone's brother, and they still have to give you 3 million? That's too arrogant, isn't it? However, the more domineering Lin Yi was, the happier she was. Only this way, her family would never be bullied again. So, she said, originally, I was thinking of buying a house in a bad location tomorrow, something cheap, just enough to live in. But now, with all this money, I can buy any house, then let's buy a better one. Tang Yun knew that this amount was actually about the same as what Lin Yi had given her family. Lin Yi could have just asked Li Chihu for 3 million, and her father's medical expenses were just an excuse for Lin Yi to give her family money. But it was also because of this reason that Tang Yun couldn't refuse. Li Chihu should give some money to her father as compensation. Although if Lin Yi hadn't been involved, her family might not have received a penny. Chapter 734 The Chen Family's Crisis. Yuner, what do you think about buying another storefront? If the neighborhood is big, we could open a barbecue restaurant there. Would that be enough for food and drink? Tang's mother asked. That's fine. Otherwise, you and Dad won't have much to do. It's better to start a business, Tang Yu nodded. 3 million, if you put it in the bank, you'll get 100,000 yuan in interest a year. What can you do to earn that much? Tang Zhechen calculated carefully and felt it would be better to put it in the bank. It's safer and you won't lose it. That's right, Tang's mother hesitated, not knowing what to do. Yuner, your dad has a point. If we put the money in the bank, we'll get a lot of interest a year. I don't quite understand this either. Let's ask Lin Yi tomorrow and see what he says. Tang Yun had never seen so much money before. She didn't know how to manage money, so she didn't dare to make any suggestions. She decided to ask Lin Yi tomorrow. The night was silent. The next morning, Lin Yi was woken up by a call from Song Lingshan. Lin Yi checked the time on his phone and saw it was only 5:30. He was immediately furious. He was practicing well in the jade pendant, and he was interrupted like this. Are you crazy? Calling so early in the morning, Lin Yi yelled into the phone. Song Lingshan felt a little aggrieved. It was 5:30, not early at all. For martial artists, waking up early to practice is very important. Song Lingshan has been doing this for more than 20 years, day in and day out. Don't you get up early to practice? I practice your sister. Lin Yi was a little depressed. Don't compare yourself with others. I always sleep until I wake up naturally. Are you interested in my sister? Song Lingshan was stunned. I've never seen it, so why would I be interested? Lin Yi was speechless at Song Lingshan's logic. Are you okay? Yes, didn't you promise to go to the hospital to see Liu Bojia? Song Lingshan said cautiously. I'm ready, then wait for me at the hospital. Lin Yi yawned, remembering what Song Lingshan had said yesterday. He got up and said, I'll be there in a minute. Okay, you didn't have breakfast, did you? How about letting this silly girl make you something? Song Lingshan was worried that Lin Yi wouldn't try his best, and even if he could cure it, he'd just lie and say he couldn't, so she tried her best to please him. Then make something. Lin Yi agreed and hung up the phone. He was used to Song Lingshan's attentiveness. After getting up, Lin Yi grabbed a few things in the kitchen and made a small pot of lean meat porridge for Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. He set the timer and went out. Lin Yi had agreed to go house buying with Tang Yun's family today, so he had to rush to the hospital to deal with Liu Bojia as soon as possible, so he didn't have time to wait for Zhou Hao to eat breakfast at home. After driving the van to the First People's Hospital, Lin Yi called Song Lingshan. You're here? Song Lingshan was pleasantly surprised. She hadn't expected Lin Yi to arrive so quickly. It seemed Lin Yi had given her face, not letting her embarrass herself in front of Chen Yushan. Chen Yushan had also arrived early this morning. He hadn't slept well the previous night. The news that Song Lingshan had an admirer had left him feeling dejected. He knew his chances were almost lost, so he decided to see just how powerful the man Song Lingshan loved was. Of course. He also reserved the right to challenge him. If he could ever surpass him. We're here. We're in the hospital parking lot. Where are you? Lin Yi asked. I'm in the third inpatient apartment, in the ICU on the top floor, room 2119, Song Lingshan said. Okay, I'll be there right away. Lin Yi got out of the car and headed towards the third inpatient apartment. Chen Yushan, standing beside Song Lingshan, heard the man she was pursuing was about to arrive and couldn't help but feel nervous. Song Lingshan, is he here? He's almost here. Song Lingshan nodded. She was annoyed by Chen Yushan's nervousness. Why couldn't he be a little more manly? Even if he was stronger, there was no need to be so nervous, right? Chen Yushan nodded. He felt like a failure. After pursuing Song Lingshan for so many years, it all ended in failure. It was simply that he had chosen the wrong direction from the beginning. He had previously pursued the dandy route, and Song Lingshan looked down on him as a playboy. When he tried to surpass Song Lingshan with his strength, he realized he had started too late. If it weren't for the guidance of a renowned teacher, he would have never broken through to the yellow rank. However, although Chen Yushan was disappointed, he didn't regret it. At least, if it weren't for Song Lingshan's words, he wouldn't have been so inspired, nor would he have chosen this path. Although his strength wasn't the strongest among the children of the aristocratic families, he was still quite strong at the early yellow rank. At least Grandpa wasn't disappointed in him. He was the only male of the third generation of the Chen family. Chen Yushu couldn't possibly practice martial arts. If he didn't have the skills, the Chen family would likely be expelled from the four great families by the Yu family in a few years. So Chen Yushan still felt a strong sense of crisis. When he was younger and a playboy, he hadn't considered so much, but now he had to. Aside from the old man, who was once a renowned figure, no one else in the Chen family could hold their own. When he was young, Grandpa practiced external martial arts. Unlike internal martial arts, external martial arts become more refined with age, whereas external martial arts lose their effectiveness as a practitioner ages and becomes less healthy. Grandpa Chen's health wasn't great. Although his peak strength was mid-level Xuanyuan back then, who knew how much of it remained? In recent years, Wu Gongao of the Wu family had risen dramatically, seemingly looking to challenge Grandpa Chen. In reality, he was just trying to test the Chen family's strength, to see how much strength remained. After this period of settling down, it's time for some aristocratic families to change. The Wu family naturally wants to get rid of the Chen family, and then support the family that is on good terms with them to take the top position. Did the Kang family rely on the Wu family recently? I'm afraid the Wu family also has this plan. So the Chen family currently looks very glamorous on the surface, and its status is one of the 4 major families and 5 minor families, but in fact its status is precarious. Chen Yushin is very clear about this, and so is the old man of the Chen family. This is also the reason why the old man of the Chen family supports Chen Yushin in pursuing Song Lingshan. Once the Chen and Song families are married, those villains who covet the Chen family will not be as rampant as they are now. But Chen Yushin is not motivated, and Song Lingshan doesn't look down on him at all. Chen Yushin also called the old man at home last night. What else can the old man do except lament that his grandson woke up too late? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 735, Breakfast with Love. Now, the only thing Chen Yushin could do was to befriend the children of other aristocratic families and bring in a strong ally for the Chen family. However, such a strong ally wasn't very reliable, after all, without a kinship relationship, and if there was a conflict of interest, it would easily collapse. So Chen Yushin could only rely on himself. If he could break through to the Zhuan rank before the old man passed away, then the Chen family would at least be guaranteed to last 100 years. But is breaking through to the Zhuan rank possible? Song Lingshan is the leader of this generation, but she has only just reached the late Wang rank. However, the Song family has a strong foundation. Although the old man of the Song family is only at the peak of the late Wang rank, the old lady of the Song family is already a mid-Zhuan rank inner martial arts master. In fact, the Song family's inner martial arts are more suitable for women to practice. Among the younger generations of the Song family, Song Lingshan's brother is only at the early Wang rank, and Song Lingshan's sister is also at the early Wang rank. A marriage with Song Lingshan was impossible. Chen Yushin wanted to see just how powerful the formidable figure Song Lingshan had spoken of. If the Song family could secure such a formidable ally, their power might even rival the Yu family. Lin Yi arrived at the ward door and pushed it open. Seeing Song Lingshan and Chen Yushin standing in the ward's reception room, he was startled. Chen Yushin was there too? Chen Yushin's expression froze when he saw Lin Yi entering. Why was Instructor Ying here? But then, Chen Yushin began to understand. Could it be that the formidable master Song Lingshan had spoken of was actually Lin Yi? This made sense to Chen Yushin. Among the younger generation, who else could possess such strength besides Lin Yi? If Lin Yi had helped him break through to the yellow rank, why couldn't he also help Song Lingshan? However, Chen Yushin had always looked up to Lin Yi as a superior instructor, never considering him as his equal. In Chen Yushin's eyes, Lin Yi was already a godlike existence. So when Chen Yushin thought of the best of the younger generation, he didn't even consider Lin Yi on the same level. Now, seeing Lin Yi here, Chen Yushin suddenly realized, yes, Lin Yi was younger than him, so he was naturally the best of the younger generation. Lin Yi didn't know what Song Xiaoniu had said to Chen Yushin, so he didn't feel embarrassed when he saw Chen Yushin. He nodded and said to him, "Brother Yushin, you're here too." Chen Yushin could only smile bitterly. "I'm one of the main people in charge of this case, so I'm here too." Chen Yushin didn't say anything about coming to see what kind of person Song Lingshan liked, because he didn't need to see. He was convinced by his defeat to Lin Yi. Chen Yushin didn't even want to challenge him. Even if he was given another 100 years, he would never surpass Lin Yi. If Song Lingshan really ended up with Lin Yi, it would be a good ending, and the Song family would also be in a good position. No one knew Lin Yi's strength and magic better than Chen Yushin. I believe Song Lingshan saw this and took the initiative to pursue Lin Yi. Otherwise, with Song Lingshan's strong personality, if the man wasn't so much stronger than her, why would she be so humble and take the initiative to pursue him? She even cooked for him and spoke to him in a frighteningly gentle tone on the phone. Only Lin Yi had the qualifications to be this man. However, Chen Yushin was suddenly stunned and suddenly remembered something. His sister seemed to have a special relationship with Lin Yi. She even kept saying that she wanted to marry him as a concubine. What was going on? Although Chen Yushin didn't believe what his sister said, because Chen Yushin rarely spoke the truth, It was hard to tell whether she was telling the truth or not. She had been like this since she was a child, but Chen Yushan still fell into deep thought. Could Song Lingshan be his sister's competitor? But Chen Yushan then shook his head nonchalantly. His sister was only in her 3rd year of high school. Wasn't it a little too early to be thinking about these things? You didn't have breakfast. Song Lingshan took out an insulated box and handed it to Lin Yi. I made breakfast especially for you. Would you like to have some first? Lin Yi nodded, took the insulated lunchbox, and opened it on the coffee table. Song Lingshan's cooking skills surprised Lin Yi. This who knew could cook? And she seemed to be quite good at it. The insulated lunchbox neatly contained several date cakes, 2 fried eggs, and some delicate pickles. It was obvious that these were not ready-made products bought from outside, but should have been made by Song Xiaoyu early in the morning. Lin Yi quickly devoured the food on the lunchbox. It tasted pretty good, and he praised her generously. I didn't realize you're a good cook. You're not completely useless. Lin Yi's first words delighted Song Lingshan immensely, but the next one nearly made her heart explode with rage. What did he mean by not completely useless? Besides cooking, did he have no other abilities? After all, he was now a late-stage yellow rank expert, yet in Lin Yi's eyes, he was just a good cook. However, Song Xiaoyu dared not speak out, fearing that her impulsive actions would anger Lin Yi and drive him away. Then all her breakfast preparations would be in vain, and all her pretense of being silly yesterday would be in vain. It would be too late to regret it then. She could only smile and say, if you like it, I often make it for you. As for the rest, don't you have my help? I don't have to worry about it, let's talk about it later. Let's go see that Liu Bojia first. Lin Yi didn't respond to Song Lingshan's words. Ever since the last incident in the dungeon, Song Lingshan's relationship with him had become strange. He didn't know what she was thinking, and Lin Yi was afraid that if he responded, he would succumb to temptation. Of course, the temptation was small, but the trouble was big. If something really happened with Song Xiaoyu, he would probably be in endless trouble. Well, let's see the patient first. Song Lingshan was immediately overjoyed. Lin Yi finally took the initiative to ask to see the patient. Chen Yushan, standing by, was practically staring with his eyes popping out. It's said that women will change for the men they love, and that seems entirely true now. Song Lingshan has become a completely different person. Lin Yi will soon be accompanying Tang Yun's family to buy a house, so time is tight and he needs to get things done as quickly as possible. Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan followed Lin Yi into the intensive care unit. They didn't dare say much, simply watching Lin Yi examine Liu Bojia's injuries. Lin Yi had seen Liu Bojia's injuries before, and they were serious. At the time, he wasn't sure how to treat them, and he wasn't entirely clear about the magical power within his body. Even if he had, he would still be reluctant to use his own energy to save someone so insignificant and unrelated to him. Chapter 736, Being Brothers. If it weren't for Song Xiaoyu's sweet words, Lin Yi wouldn't have cared about Liu Bojia's life or death. Lin Yi checked Liu Bojia's injuries again. They were still the same, neither severe nor less severe. But then again, in his condition, being able to stay on a ventilator was considered good. Without saying anything, Lin Yi told Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan, have someone remove his hospital gown. I'm going to give him acupuncture, let me do it. Chen Yushan didn't refuse and volunteered to help Liu Bojia untie his gown. Song Lingshan, being a girl, naturally hesitated to help, so she just watched from a distance. Liu Bojia's hospital gown was loose to begin with, so Chen Yushan easily removed it. Lin Yi nodded, motioned Chen Yushan to step aside, and then took out a box of silver needles. Lin Yi had bought them last night, the previous box had been used on Li Dili. They were expensive, so he would have to ask Li Chihu to return them someday. Silver needles swiftly penetrated Liu Bojia's body. Lin Yi didn't intend to completely heal Liu Bojia, but instead chose to use his own energy to repair his critical injuries. To avoid the same situation as Feng Xiaoxiao, which had drained his energy, Lin Yi first sealed several of Liu Bojia's meridians with silver needles. This allowed him to selectively inject energy into specific areas of his body. As for his other injuries, there was still a hospital. He could just lie in the ward and recover slowly. Lin Yi injected energy into Liu Bojia's body, repairing several of his critical injuries, which brought a sigh of relief. Liu Bojia's energy requirements were far less than Feng Xiaoxiao's, similar to the young lady's. Therefore, even if he completely repaired Liu Bojia's injuries, It wouldn't require much energy from him. However, Lin Yi chose not to do so. Firstly, it would be too shocking. Secondly, Lin Yi didn't owe Liu Bojie anything. Healing him to his current state was already a good thing. As the old man in his family said, a thief never leaves empty-handed. A strike must be paid. He couldn't just do it for nothing, right? Alright, he should be awake this afternoon. Lin Yi collected the needles from Liu Bojie's body. The whole process took less than 10 minutes. So easy. Song Lingshan watched Lin Yi insert a few needles and then massage Liu Bojie's body, and he was cured? If that was the case, why was this guy still being so hesitant in front of her? What was he saying? This was just a piece of cake for him, but he had tricked her into pretending to be a fool several times? Lin Yi rolled his eyes and said, "You think it's easy? How much ki did I lose and put into his body? If it was put into you, maybe you would level up again." Lin Yi was just mocking Song Lingshan for not using her brain, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, Song Lingshan felt a conflict. Lin Yi actually used ki to treat Liu Bojie? This was too extravagant. Could it be that Lin Yi's ki could be used by others? Song Lingshan had only heard that cultivating one's own ki could be used by others, but she had never heard of other people's ki having this effect. Besides, there were conditions for using one's own ki for others. It had to be one's future husband. Just like Grandpa, who was only at the early yellow rank when he was young. If it weren't for Grandma's contributions, how could he have reached the peak of the late yellow rank? But Lin Yi actually used his ki on a complete stranger. An ordinary person at that. This puzzled Song Lingshan. At the same time, she felt heartbroken. How great would it be to have all that ki for herself? Who knows, maybe even level up again. Little silly girl, you're wrong, isn't that okay? Song Lingshan blushed and grabbed Lin Yi's hand. Good boy, try transferring some ki to me next time. Let's talk about it when we have time, Lin Yi said perfunctorily. Nothing, I'm leaving now. Tang Yun is waiting for me to go buy a house with her family. Song Lingshan could hear Lin Yi's perfunctory tone, but she wasn't discouraged. If Lin Yi had agreed to transfer ki to her just like that, she wouldn't have believed it. Tang Yun? The name surprised Chen Yushan. It sounded like a girl's name. I don't know what her relationship with Lin Yi is, but it seems Lin Yi is quite popular with women. Song Lingshan has a lot of competitors. Lin Yi left the ward, leaving only Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan. Song Lingshan returned to her previous cold expression, as if the person who was acting coquettishly before was not her. This made Chen Yushan sigh. How can a person change so quickly? It seems that you have a lot of competitors. Chen Yushan completely let go of this relationship in his heart. The moment he saw Lin Yi, he knew the gap between him and Lin Yi, so he simply stopped having any illusions. Once he calmed down, he could actually joke with Song Lingshan. So what? Song Lingshan was a little surprised by Chen Yushan's attitude. For a moment, it seemed as if Chen Yushan's feelings towards her had calmed down a lot. Now, they could get along as good friends, which was not bad. At least the annoyance was gone. Are you finally giving up? Well, what if I don't give up? I'm no match for him, Chen Yushan shrugged self-deprecatingly. I didn't expect it was him. If it was him, I would have given up long ago and wouldn't have embarrassed myself by following him today. You knew Lin Yi before. Song Lingshan heard something in Chen Yushan's words. That can't be said. Chen Yushan shook his head. Song Lingshan smiled. I feel much more comfortable seeing you like this. You used to be so timid and unmanly. Yeah, that's my weakness. Ever since I was little, I've been under your dominance and never had the urge to resist. Chen Yushan nodded. So, I'm destined not to be your Mr. Right. I'm more like a follower. There are plenty of good girls out there. With your Chen family background and your own strength, are you worried you won't find a woman? Song Lingshan patted Chen Yushan on the shoulder. I think it's easier to get along with you if I consider you a buddy. Okay, then we'll be good buddies from now on. Although Chen Yushan had given up, there was still a hint of bitterness in his tone as he said this. How's Grandpa Chen doing? Song Lingshan hadn't visited Grandpa Chen in a long time. Ever since she learned that Grandpa Chen wanted to propose marriage to her family, the relationship between the two families had become much more distant. Not so good, Chen Yushan shook his head. Although I didn't say this, people outside can guess it. There are too many people who covet the status of the Chen family. I am afraid that with my own strength, I can't protect the Chen family. So, Grandpa also misses you and me. Chapter 737 An embarrassing scene. At this point, Chen Yushan stopped talking, believing Song Lingshan understood. Marriage is always a side issue. Even if I marry you, I still can't help you if the interests of the Chen and Song families conflict, Song Lingshan said calmly. So, although we're brothers now, I can't say anything about the Song family when the time comes, but I personally will support you. I'm glad you said that, Chen Yushin smiled. Lin Yi left the intensive care unit and headed straight for Tang Yun's room. Tang's mother had gotten up early to buy a house, but the family's major events had nearly kept her awake until the wee hours. Opening the door for Lin Yi, Tang's mother beamed. Xiao Yi, you're here? Yeah, where's Tang Yun? Lin Yi asked, glancing at her missing figure in the room. In the bathroom. She's up early to buy a house and is washing up, she said. Have you had breakfast? When are we leaving? Lin Yi asked. Not yet. I'm planning on grabbing a bite on the way, Tang's mother said. By the way, Xiao Yi, I want to discuss something with you. What is it? Lin Yi sat on the sofa, waiting for Tang Yun. Say, should I use this money to buy a storefront and start a small business with your Uncle Tang, or should I put it in the bank and earn the interest? Tang's mother was deeply troubled by the question. 3 million in the bank, I'd earn 100,000 a year in interest, right? How can I possibly earn back that much money? Lin Yi was actually financially illiterate, otherwise, he wouldn't have handed the company over to Fatty Lai. Let's ask my friend about this later and see what he says. He's a seasoned businessman, of course, let's ask him, Tang's mother nodded. Tang Yun finished washing up and emerged from the bathroom, still in her pajamas. She hadn't expected Lin Yi to arrive so early. She'd been washing her hair in the bathroom, and the sound of the water masked her inaudible voices, so her arrival startled her. Summer pajamas are thin, and Tang Yun wasn't wearing a bra, revealing her bust and beautiful figure. Seeing Lin Yi staring at her, Tang Yun felt a little embarrassed, yet also delighted. She would be sad if Lin Yi had no interest in her. However, the situation was embarrassing, and the two of them hadn't gotten to that point yet. Tang Yun lowered her head, quickly grabbed her coat, and rushed to the bathroom without speaking to Lin Yi. Tang's mother didn't react. She didn't understand what was wrong with her daughter. She didn't say anything to Lin Yi, and was acting like a spoiled brat again. Do you really think you're a spoiled brat? She couldn't help but feel angry. She stood up and opened the bathroom door, scolding, Yuner, what are you doing? Xiao Yi is here, and you didn't even say hello. I'm getting dressed. Tang Yun jumped. She had just taken off her pajamas, and her chest was bare. The bathroom door suddenly opened, and she was naturally startled. She was relieved to see it was her mother. Just get dressed. Xiao Yi isn't a stranger. It won't hurt to see him. I don't know what you're thinking about all day. Tang's mother increasingly felt that she had a good hold on Lin Yi as her son-in-law. It had only been a short time, and her family had become millionaires. Wouldn't they be worth tens of millions in the future? She was delighted to learn that she, too, had the potential to be a wealthy woman. She wondered how she could keep her daughter in Lin Yi's good graces, hoping they wouldn't actually break up, which would ruin her future. Tang Yun glared at her mother, furious and embarrassed. She didn't know what she was thinking. She was a girl, wasn't she afraid of being put at a disadvantage? What are you looking at? Hurry up and get dressed. You're up so early and you're late. What will happen if the good houses are sold out? Tang's mother was anxious to go house hunting. Before, when she didn't have money, she didn't think much about such things. But now that she had money, she was worried that the good locations would be taken by others. Okay, I'm all dressed. Tang Yun finished dressing. A plain shirt and the short she'd bought yesterday went together perfectly. After leaving the bathroom with her mother, Tang Yun felt a little embarrassed and didn't dare look at Lin Yi. However, when Lin Yi saw Tang Yun without her school uniform today, his eyes lit up. The flaws outweighed the merits. Although Tang Yun's clothes were cheap street vendor goods, they looked very beautiful on her. Lin Yi called Fatty Lai. Fatty Lai had heard yesterday that Tang Yun's family was buying a house today, so he made preparations early this morning, waiting for Lin Yi and Tang Yun to arrive. Fatty Lai hadn't slept all night, working overtime at a pharmaceutical factory to urge the workers to make the antidote for the 7 herbs death powder. They were finally finished at around 2 o'clock this morning and were transported to the hospital without delay. After administering it to the unconscious students, all the students are now awake. Although they are still weak, they are no longer in critical condition. It must be said that the drug's effect was remarkable. While it wasn't the legendary cure-all, most people considered it a miracle cure. Parents, in particular, were incredibly grateful to Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company and, when interviewed by reporters, were unstinting in their praise. As for the school and Pengzhan Group's responsibility, it was minimal. The suspect had already surrendered, and the motive for the poisoning had been investigated. Naturally, the parents wouldn't blame the school. Besides, the students were fine now, so they couldn't continue to make a fuss. After all, in the face of Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company's selfless spirit, if they continued to harp on the matter, they would undoubtedly become public enemies. When Fatty Lai delivered the medicine, he made it clear that he had worked overtime overnight to produce the miracle drug solely because of his personal relationship with Chu Pengzhan. What else could the parents say? The parents who had previously wanted to transfer schools have calmed down. It had nothing to do with their children in the first place, so why would they transfer schools? The situation is now very clear. The school is not a bioterrorism base, nor is it a case of poor management. It was a completely deliberate and premeditated poisoning. This is inevitable everywhere, and other schools may not be safe. So, the matter has come to an end. Chu Pengzhan is just short of holding a press conference today. After Fatty Lai finished these things, he was waiting to help Lin Yi buy a house. "Boss, I've already arranged it here. Don't worry. We are all family. I can just give you a discount when the time comes," Fatty Lai patted his chest and promised. Before he and Lin Yi, he was engaged in real estate development. He still had several real estate projects that were not completed. One of the real estate projects happened to start pre-sales, so Fatty Lai went there in person today. Chapter 738 Parking Conflict. "Well, where's it?" Lin Yi asked. "It's at 528 Chengdong Avenue. The building is called Changxiang Garden. You can see it when you come over," Fatty Lai said. "Okay, you go ahead and do your work. I'll be there in a bit. I'll call you back when I've found a unit I'd like," Lin Yi said. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi said to Tang's mother, "Auntie, we'll go choose one later. Once we find a unit we've chosen, I'll find someone to give us a better deal on top of this price." "A better deal? That's great." Tang's mother loved getting a bargain, and when she heard Lin Yi say that, she was immediately delighted. She had heard that the building had just opened and was already having a promotion. If it could be even cheaper on top of this, how could she not be delighted? She felt more and more that Lin Yi was a good person. If her daughter followed him, she would never have to worry about anything in the future. The three of them got into Lin Yi's van and drove towards Chengdong Avenue. Although Lin Yi's car wasn't very good, Tang's mother thought that having a car was good enough. How many people living in the shanty towns had cars? "Tang Yun, have you taken a leave of absence?" Lin Yi had become accustomed to skipping classes, but Tang Yun was a good student and rarely skipped. "There was a poisoning incident at school yesterday, so there are no regular classes today. I heard that the chairman of Pengzhan Group is holding a press conference, and many students and parents are attending, so the school is temporarily in self-study." When Tang Yun mentioned the chairman of Pengzhan Group, she thought of Chu Mengyao. Yesterday, Chu Mengyao struck Tang Yun as having none of the bad habits of rich kids. She was a bit proud, but she was also quite approachable. Changxiang Garden has a good location. Changdong Avenue is one of the newly built third ring roads this year, so Changxiang Garden attracted many homebuyers on the first day of sales. The entrance to the Changxiang Garden sales office was already full of cars. Lin Yi finally found a parking space and pulled in. A flurry of horns blared from behind him, followed by a man's outburst of curses. "Where did that crappy van come from? This is the spot I had my eye on first. How did you snatch it away? Damn it, get it out." Lin Yi frowned and got out, only to see a bald man poking his head out of a BMW parked behind his own, spewing curses. "Watch your mouth, don't get yourself into trouble," Lin Yi said, giving him a cold glance. "Fuck, what's the point of driving a crappy van?" The bald man, not expecting Lin Yi to talk back and even threaten him, flew into a rage. "Believe it or not, I'll run you over." With that, he started his car and charged at Lin Yi. Of course, he was just trying to scare Lin Yi. He wouldn't dare actually hide him. After all, killing someone in public wouldn't go unpunished. He'd probably end up in jail then. Although he's rich, this kind of thing isn't easy to deal with. Lin Yi smiled faintly, and just as the BMW was about to hide him, he suddenly kicked the hood of the BMW, bringing it to a screeching halt. The bald man was startled. How could someone stop a car with a kick? Who is this person? He suddenly felt guilty. Although he often showed off, he didn't dare act rashly when faced with such a tough guy. If he didn't do it right, he'd get beaten. So, although the bald man was furious, he didn't dare to do anything to Lin Yi. He stopped the car, got out quickly, and saw that there was a dent on the hood of his car. He was immediately even more frightened, but didn't want to show weakness. He snorted coldly, "Boy, you can do it. Let's see." He didn't dare ask Lin Yi to fix his car, and he didn't care about the repair fee. He made such a harsh statement just to save face. He was the boss of the Xincan taxi company and had some money on hand. Today, he was here to buy a house with his new mistress, so he naturally didn't want her to look down on him. "How?" Lin Yi said with a faint smile. People like him were practically everywhere, so Lin Yi didn't need to get angry at them. The bald man glared at Lin Yi, then returned to the car and said to the mistress in the passenger seat, "What kind of person is this? He drives a junky car and doesn't know what to do with it. He's a country bumpkin. Just wait and see how I'll deal with him, Mr. Wu. Don't bother with people like that. Getting angry with him is just cheap." How could the mistress not see that her husband didn't dare to confront Lin Yi head-on? But she wouldn't say it out loud. If she did, Mr. Wu would get angry, and then there would be no point in buying a house. Yet, it looks like they were here to buy a house too. Let's see what they want and then try to make things difficult for them. Mr. Wu nodded, started the car, and went to look for another parking space. Tang Yun and her mother got out of the car. They had witnessed a previous scene, but they didn't understand the details. Since Lin Yi had already taken care of it, there was no need to ask. The three of them walked into the sales center and were immediately greeted by a saleswoman who began to explain Changxiang Garden to Tang's mother. It had to be said that Fatty Lie's management was quite effective. Tang's mother didn't look wealthy at first glance, but the salesperson didn't look down on her. "Are there any discounts for buying a house here?" Tang's mother was most concerned about the discounts, so she asked before the saleswoman finished her introduction. She didn't care about whether the house had schools or a good shopping district nearby. She only cared about the price. If it was cheap, it didn't matter if there were none. Her daughter was about to take the college entrance exam, so what did it matter to her whether there were schools or not? And the business district was even more of a concern. Her family's food and daily necessities came from the wholesale market or the night market, and they couldn't afford high-end shopping malls. Yes, today is the opening promotion. All apartment types are 5% off, and if you pay in full, you can enjoy an additional 10% discount, and have the chance to win the grand prize of fully decorated apartment, said the sales lady. "Can't it be cheaper?" asked Tang's mother. "This is the price set by the boss, and we have no right to change it," the sales lady smiled. "Okay, then let's take a look at the location and apartment types first," said Tang's mother, nodding. The sales lady took Lin Yi and the other two to see the sand table. Tang's mother chose a building with relatively good lighting and location, and then said, "I want this building, right? Do you have a floor plan?" "Yes, please wait." The sales lady found the floor plan of this building and handed it to Tang's mother. Tang's mother took the floor plan and just opened it, but the bald man who had a conflict with Lin Yi before leaned over. Chapter 739. Don't treat me like this anymore. Auntie, you have great taste. This building has one of the best locations in the entire complex, second only to the villas and duplexes over there. Not only does it have a great orientation, but there are no high-rise buildings blocking the view, giving it a very spacious feel, the saleswoman explained to Tang's mother. "Zai Yuner, what do you think? What apartment layout do you think is best for us?" Tang's mother was also undecided. Choosing a building had been easy before. The sand table showed which locations were good and which weren't. The building Tang's mother had chosen was considered to be in a good location, and the price was not high, a point on which she and Tang Yun agreed. However, there were several apartment types within the building, and they had to negotiate which one to choose, and which floor. Tang's mother had originally excitedly thought buying a house would be easy, just choosing and paying. But now, standing here, she realized that buying a house wasn't that simple. At least now, she was a little overwhelmed. Every floor had its own advantages. The first floor could be used for business later. The second and third floors would be more convenient for commuting as I get older. The fourth and fifth floors are prime, while the sixth and seventh floors are both affordable and offer great views. It was such a tough choice. How about a 3-bedroom apartment? Lin Yi looked at the floor plan and suggested, "I think this unit is good." Seeing Tang's mother's hesitation, Lin Yi offered his advice directly. "Alright, then this unit. Each of these units is 120 square meters. Isn't it a bit large? Tang's mother was worried about the price of a larger apartment. Auntie, if you like this unit, you should act quickly. There's only one left on the 3rd floor, the others are already sold, the saleswoman said, so this unit is great. Everyone's got good taste. Only the 3rd floor left. Tang's mother was startled, a little nervous. This house is so easy to sell. She wanted to make a decision, but she couldn't make up her mind. After all, she had never made such a big decision in her life. Let's go for the 3rd floor. The light's good, and it's easy to get upstairs, Lin Yi said with a smile. Well, then, let's go for the 3rd floor. We'll pick this apartment, Tang's mother nodded. Can we go see the units already built? Of course, no problem. Please follow me, the saleswoman nodded, then said to the other customers nearby, anyone else want to see the quality of the units already built? I'll be there now. If you want to come with me, please follow me, we'll go too, the bald Mr. Wu, who had come over with his mistress, said proudly. In front of so many people, he wasn't afraid of Lin Yi anymore. There were plenty of security guards here. He didn't believe Lin Yi would dare to hit anyone. If he did, he would make sure he got away with it. With his power over the black and white forces in Songshan City, how could he not kill a kid driving a van? Seeing the bald Mr. Wu join in the fun, Lin Yi ignored him, a hint of sarcasm on his lips. If he wanted to watch, then he could watch. There was no reason to chase away the guy who came here to give money to Fatty Lai. The few of them left the sales office with the sales lady and got on a special electric car for the community. The bald Mr. Wu glanced at Tang Yun with lustful eyes, and then looked at Lin Yi with a bit of jealousy. Thinking that this girl was so beautiful, and she was actually taken by this poor boy. God must be blind. Looking at his mistress next to him, she was obviously more than a level lower than her. Comparing people's really infuriating. If Tang Yun were his mistress, not to mention this building, he would buy her a villa. The bald Mr. Wu was thinking about how to show his strength in front of Tang Yun later. It had to be said that bald boss Wu had a pretty good eye for people, because he'd seen that Tang Yun's mother was a typical money-grubbing woman. If he offered enough benefits, she wouldn't have to convince her daughter to follow him. So, as long as he was strong enough and made that little bastard Lin Yi lose face, he wouldn't have to worry about not getting the girl in the end. Thinking of this, bald boss Wu was instantly delighted, his arm around Xiaomi faltering. Xiaomi was also quite flirtatious, moaning and panting on the electric scooter, making the sales lady and Tang Yun blush. He thought to himself, why is this guy like this? Has he no sense of shame? If you want to touch someone, go back home. Why are you touching them here? Lin Yi squeezed Tang Yun's hand and smiled slightly, which only made Tang Yun blush even more. She glared at him and whispered, don't ever do this to me again. Oh, you're different from her. The woman next to that bald guy is just playing around. Lin Yi saw through it all. So, aren't you just playing around with me? Tang Yun felt a little nervous. Although she already had an answer in mind, the presence of competitors like the eldest daughter, Chen Yushu, Guanxin, and even Song Lingshan made her feel uneasy. I won't count until I'm done playing around, Lin Yi smiled. You're so annoying, so rude. Tang Yun got the answer she wanted and grumbled. Bald Mr. Wu watched Lin Yi and Tang Yun flirting in front of him, and he was envious. Damn it, he had to get this girl. Tang's mother's mind was filled with longing for the house. She turned a deaf ear to the sounds of bald Mr. Wu flirting with his mistress, and she didn't hear her daughter and Lin Yi whispering. Her mind was completely focused on the surrounding area and the houses. Such a beautiful community? Tang's mother looked at the green space in the community and her eyes widened. It was 100 times better than the shanty town before. There was a small park, a pavilion, an artificial lake, and the houses were beautiful. If she could live in this complex, wouldn't she instantly become wealthy? Affluent? We're here, right here. The saleswoman parked her electric scooter in front of a beautiful building. Wow, so beautiful. Tang's mother looked at the building, her admiration growing. You can even see the park downstairs from a distance. How lovely. Yes, that's why this building sells so quickly, and these large units are so popular. Only the 3rd floor is left. If you like it, sign the contract quickly, or someone else might snatch it up first, the saleswoman nodded. Tang's mother, feeling a little anxious at the saleswoman's words, nodded. Then let's go up and take a look, honey, this place is so beautiful. Will you buy it for me? Xiaomi, who had been silent until then, now spoke coquettishly to the bald Mr. Wu. Okay, if you like it, Of course I will buy it for you. I will give you whatever you want, bald Mr. Wu said very pretentiously. He just wanted to let Tang's mother and Tang Yun see what strength is. If they follow him, they will have everything they want. Chapter 740 Raising the Price. You're so kind to me. The young woman embraced the bald man, kissing and nibbling him before heading upstairs with a saleswoman. As soon as Tang's mother entered the new apartment on the 3rd floor, she was blown away. It was so beautiful. The bright floor-to-ceiling windows, the comfortable layout, the large living room, it was like the dream homes you often see on TV. Tang's mother had already gritted her teeth and decided, buy it. She had to buy it. It was so beautiful. How much is it? Tang's mother asked nervously. Auntie, it's priced at 950,000 yuan, the saleswoman said after glancing at the sales book. Ah, that's so expensive. Tang's mother felt a pang of pain. Although she had just received 3 million yuan for nothing yesterday, she was reluctant to give the money away. So she asked, can this apartment be reduced? Sorry, Auntie, my authority is limited to the discounts I mentioned earlier. If you want more, you'll have to talk to our CEO in person. But if you're only buying one apartment, he probably won't give you a discount, the saleswoman said frankly. Only 950,000? That's such a steal, bald Mr. Wu then spoke up. What discounts are you looking for 950,000? Even without all those, it's still a steal, right? He glanced at Xiaomi beside him. Yes, that's a drop in the bucket for you, Mr. Wu. It's nothing, Xiaomi echoed, it's a steal. Tang Yun couldn't help but feel a little annoyed by these two people. What were they trying to say? They weren't buying the house, so why were they getting involved? Tang Yun glared at bald Mr. Wu and Xiaomi. Tang's mother was also furious. Were these two here to cause trouble? Bald Mr. Wu saw Tang Yun looking at him and thought she was looking at him. He was overjoyed, even more proud than before. Xiaoli, what do you think of this house? If it's okay, I'll buy it for you. Sure, I love it. We'll buy it. Xiaomi, nicknamed Xiaoli, nodded happily. Lin Yi laughed inwardly. Did these two come here in a group to show off? Go ahead, keep pretending, let's see how long you can pretend. Miss, I want this house, sign the contract, bald Mr. Wu said to the sales lady. Sir, this auntie was the first to like this house. Do you think you can consider it after this auntie makes a decision? The sales lady asked with some embarrassment. She liked it first? What's wrong with liking it? Haven't you bought it yet? If you don't buy it, it's not theirs. Bald Mr. Wu snorted coldly. I say, sales lady, do you know how to do things? Whoever pays first gets the money. They haven't even signed the contract yet. Hurry up and sign the contract for us. We'll buy it. We'll buy it now. Tang's mother was immediately anxious. How could the house she had finally liked be snatched away by someone else? This won't do. Absolutely not. We were the ones who said we wanted to buy it first. You're too late. Xiaoli rolled her eyes at Tang's mother in disdain. Look at how broke you are. You can't afford this house. Save the money and buy a bungalow in the countryside. Why can't we afford it? We saw it first, so we have first refusal. Tang Yun was furious at Xiaoli's harsh words and retorted, glaring at her. Forget it, there's no point arguing with you. Bald Mr. Wu, determined to highlight his dominant image, turned to the sales lady and said, here's how 950,000 yuan. I don't want any of those small discounts. Sign the contract. The sales lady was a little embarrassed. If Bald Mr. Wu didn't want the discount, then she would definitely be praised by the boss for selling the house, and her bonus this month would not be reduced. But doing so would be unfair to Tang's mother and her family. Isn't there a saying? The highest bidder wins. Since we offer the highest price, it's ours. What are you still hesitating about? Xiaoli said to the saleswoman, looking defiantly at Tang's mother. We don't want a discount. If you don't want a discount, we'll sell it to you anyway. Can you refuse? Tang's mother's face flushed with anger. How could someone like that? But she really needed that discount. We don't want a discount either. Tang Yun said this with heartache, but with Lin Yi holding her hand from behind, she knew it was Lin Yi's intention, so she said it anyway. Oh, bald Mr. Wu was taken aback. He hadn't expected Tang Yun to be so decisive. But how could he give up the house he already had? On the one hand, he couldn't afford to lose face in front of Xiaomi, and on the other hand, he wanted to demonstrate his strength in front of Tang Yun and her daughter. If he ran away in disgrace, what would his strength be? Thinking of this, bald Mr. Wu gritted his teeth and said, Here, I'll offer 1 million. Sign the contract. The sales lady was stunned. She had only heard of wealthy people bidding against each other for villas, but never for a simple house. And the price had suddenly increased by 50,000. It was too incredible, wasn't it? 1 million, what are you still standing there for? Don't you want your bonus? If your boss knew you weren't making money, he'd fire you, Xiao Li threatened the sales lady. Hey, the sales lady looked at Tang's mother with some embarrassment. We'll offer 1 million too. Tang Yun had no choice but to bite the bullet and bid. Lin Yi hinted at her to continue bidding, so Tang Yun, though somewhat reluctant, still made her bid. Bald Mr. Wu frowned. He hadn't expected Tang Yun to raise the price just like him. Did they have that much money? A shabby van wasn't even worth 20,000, and they dared to raise the price by 50,000? Were they really going to fight him? However, Bald Wu couldn't afford to show weakness at this time. If Tang Yun could afford the price, how could he not afford it? He was the boss of Zincan Taxi Company, the largest taxi company in Songshan City, and he had brother Chiho's protection. If he really gave up today and walked away in disgrace, it would not only be his own face that would be lost, but also brother Chiho's. So, even though Bald Wu felt that it was not worth it to pay extra for the house, there was nothing he could do. Things had come to this point, and he had no way out. He could only bite the bullet and say, 1,100,000. I don't have time to waste, just sign the contract. The sales lady was also shocked by Bald Wu's price. 1,100,000? Chapter 741. Who are you talking about? Spending 1.1 million to buy a house worth 950,000? Is that true? Right in front of this building, 1.1 million could buy a house even bigger than this one, with a similar location and good lighting. We'll offer 1.1 million too. Tang Yun finished speaking. Seeing Lin Yi squeeze her hand again, she had no choice but to add, we'll offer 1.15 million. Huh? Bald Mr. Wu looked at Tang Yun in disbelief. She dared to offer more than him? Where did she get the confidence from? Was she just trying to be brave? But seeing Lin Yi making some small moves behind him, Bald Mr. Wu knew in his heart that this guy Lin Yi was probably against him. Okay, you still dare to raise the price? He felt that Lin Yi's offer of 1.15 million was already the limit. Otherwise, why not 1.2 million? He was running out of money and couldn't afford that. So, Bald Wu gritted his teeth and said bluntly, 1,200,000. 1,200,000. Sign the contract now. While Bald Wu felt that buying a house worth 950,000 yuan for 1 million was a bit extravagant, he also managed to save face and demonstrate his power to Tang Yun and her mother, which gave him a sense of accomplishment. This was the first step to his success. After humiliating Lin Yi, he could talk to Tang's mother about supporting Tang Yun. Oh, then, I'll sell it to you. We'll look for something else. Tang Yun, taking Lin Yi's hint, shook her head. This one isn't very ideal either. 1,200,000 is a waste, not worth it? I think you're broke, right? Xiao Li said sarcastically. She was incredibly happy that Bald Wu had bought her such an expensive house, giving her a lot of face. We have money, but we don't spend it recklessly. Tang Yun curled her lips. Fortunately, Lin Yi only made Bald Wu spend a little money in the end, not buy the house himself. Otherwise, Tang Yun would have been asleep if she had spent an extra 25 yuan on the house. Seeing that Tang Yun's family had given up, the saleswoman stopped agonizing. Since someone was willing to pay a high price for the house, why not? Sir, are we going to sign the contract now? The saleswoman asked. Nonsense. I finally won the bid. What if someone else snatches it away? Bald Mr. Wu glared at the saleswoman and barked. Okay, then, let's go back to the sales office and sign the contract. The saleswoman glanced apologetically at Tang's mother. Auntie, how about you come back with me? I'll help you find another good house. Okay. Tang's mother had no other choice but to do it. She couldn't bear to spend an extra 250,000 yuan on a house. And she was still hoping for a better deal. Your daughter can't have a boyfriend like this? An extra 250,000 yuan is nothing. To me, it's nothing, Bald Mr. Wu said casually to Tang's mother as he came downstairs and got on his electric scooter. Tang's mother glared at him without replying, thinking to herself, if my son-in-law is like you, a fool, and adds another 200,000 yuan to the price of a house, that's unacceptable. My son-in-law is buying me a house, so of course the cheaper the better. Bald Mr. Wu, Noticing his mother's silence, shrugged and resumed his embrace with Xiaomi. What a scoundrel, Tang Yun complained to Lin Yi in a low voice as they got into the car. Oh, there are plenty of houses out there, and you're worried you won't find one you like? I can afford even 1 million, let alone a 250,000 yuan increase, but will Auntie accept it? Lin Yi laughed. Of course not. You'd better find her a cheaper one. Otherwise, if she really spends too much, she'll get sick, Tang Yun sighed, understanding her mother's personality. The 6 of them returned to the sales office, where the saleswoman first signed the purchase contract with bald Mr. Wu. The contract was ready-made, directly loaded from the computer, and printed out for signature and stamping. With a flourish, bald Wu signed the contract, prompting Xiaomi to balk. Didn't we agree on my name? Why did you change it? Bald Wu had already shifted his focus to Tang Yun. Tang Yun was vastly superior to Xiaoli in every way, so he didn't want to invest too much in her. So, he'd played a trick on her when signing the contract, but Xiaoli, surprisingly, was also smart enough to point it out. Did I forget? Bald Wu chuckled. He was already showing off in front of Tang Yun and her mother, so how could he show weakness now? If Tang's mother thought he was stingy, refusing to even buy a house for a woman, why would she help him persuade Tang Yun? Xiaoli then beamed as she signed her name and happily kissed Mr. Wu again. Sir, you can pay now. Would you like cash or bank card? The saleswoman, having sold a house, was overjoyed. An extra $250,000. The boss would surely praise her, right? Nonsense, of course it was a credit card. Who would have the time to carry over 1 million yuan in cash? Only an idiot who's never seen money before. Bald Wu glared at the saleswoman and handed over a bank card. Fuck you, who are you calling an idiot? A burly man carrying a large black plastic bag suddenly appeared from nowhere and grabbed Bald Wu by the collar. Do you want to die, huh? Big brother, sorry, I didn't mean you. Bald Wu was startled. This burly man had a much stronger visual impact than Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi seemed quite powerful, able to kick a car to a stop, he wasn't so large, which made Bald Wu feel less intimidated. But this burly man in a black vest and covered in tattoos gave Bald Wu a fright. Besides, even if security came, he was still in the wrong. Who had called him an idiot? So, Bald Wu quickly apologized. HMPH, I don't have time to waste with a bald guy like you. I can kill you with this bag of money. The big guy was obviously in a hurry to get things done. He let go of bald Mr. Wu and left, which made bald Mr. Wu feel relieved. The sales lady brought a wireless POS machine, swiped the card for bald Mr. Wu, and then gave him the receipt after swiping the card. She also issued him a receipt and said, Sir, you have one chance to draw a lottery. You can go and draw a lottery. The special prize will give you exquisite decoration and home appliances for free. The first prize will give you a full set of home appliances. The second prize will give you a full set of kitchen and bathroom supplies. The third prize will give you a central water purifier, and there are some small prizes, including electric kettles, electric stew pots, rice cookers, induction cookers, etc. As long as you draw a lottery, you have a 100% chance of winning. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 742 The same price. That's just small change. It doesn't matter. Xiaoli, if you want to try the lottery, go ahead, bald Mr. Wu said casually. He really wanted to win, but if he showed too much concern, wouldn't it make him seem greedy? That wouldn't do. His previous appearance would be in vain. Of course I like to try. I'm lucky. Let's see how I get lucky. Xiaoli was eager to try. Sir, you paid a lot for this house. How about I ask the manager to give you 2 chances to try the lottery? The saleswoman asked. It's nothing, Xiaoli, what do you think? Bald Mr. Wu's heart began to stir. He had just lost 250,000 yuan, a huge loss. If he won the special prize or first prize in the lottery, wouldn't that make it all back in a flash? But he didn't dare to show it directly, so he asked Xiaoli. That's not a good idea, right? We'll draw twice. Xiaoli began to speak when she saw Bald Wu's face darken. She was immediately startled and didn't dare to continue. Bald Wu was so angry. Are you fucking stupid? You don't even want it for free? You're rich, right? No problem, I'll apply for it right away, the sales lady smiled, not noticing Bald Wu's expression. This time, Bald Wu was very pleased with the sales lady. She had finally done a good deed. The sales manager was accompanying Fatty Lai. He hadn't expected the group CEO to come in person today. He received a call from the saleswoman saying something was up, so Manager Wang said to Fatty Lai, "Boss Lai, I'll go over first. The saleswoman wants to take care of something, let's go over and take a look." Fatty Lai didn't have anything else to do. Lin Yi had said he wanted to look at the property himself first, so Fatty Lai hadn't followed him. Fatty Lai probably guessed that Lin Yi didn't want to just give Tang Yun a house, so he naturally wouldn't be overly attentive. Manager Wang and Fatty Lai found the saleswoman. Fatty Lai was startled when he saw Lin Yi and Tang Yun and their daughter nearby. But when Lin Yi winked at him, Fatty Lai understood that Lin Yi didn't want him to be too obvious. Lin Yi was actually thinking about Tang Yun. Tang Yun was a strong-willed person and would definitely not appreciate him giving her a house for no reason. He asked Fatty Lai to sell it to her at a discount, which Tang Yun couldn't say. Mr. Lin, Ms. Tang, Auntie Tang, Fatty Lai greeted Lin Yi and Tang Yun warmly. The saleswoman didn't know Fatty Lai, so she had no idea what he did. She wasn't surprised, but instead addressed Manager Wang. "Manager Wang, here's what's going on. Mr. Wu and Auntie both had their eyes on the same house, and they competed. Mr. Wu won by paying 25 cents over the original price. He's already paid and signed the contract. Could you give him a few more entries?" Manager Wang was astonished. Someone like that? Spending an extra 25,000 yuan for a house, did he hear it wrong? But when he saw the contract the saleswoman handed him, he was convinced it wasn't a joke. Manager Wang was also puzzled. What was Mr. Lai's relationship with Lin Yi and the bidding end? Would agreeing to let him enter the prize more often offend Mr. Lai? His gaze inevitably turned to Lai Chang'ai. "Even if I try a few more times, I still might not win." Tang's mother curled her lips in disdain. Manager Wang, upon hearing Tang's mother's words, clearly didn't care about Mr. Wu's participation in the lottery. He nodded and agreed, "Okay, 3 draws, 2 more chances. Sir, you can enter now." "Xiaoli, go ahead." Bald Mr. Wu waved his hand nonchalantly. Tang's mother had never met Lai Chang'ai and didn't know what he did, but seeing his respectful attitude, she nodded in confusion. "Hello, who are you, Auntie? I'm a friend of Mr. Lin. He asked me to help you find a house at a special price," Lai Chang'ai said. Tang Yun glanced at Fatty Lai. "Who are you putting on this show for? Are you trying to trick my mother?" Tang Yun was no fool. She knew Lin Yi, concerned about his reputation, wouldn't let Fatty Lai give her a house outright. Instead, he'd use this low price sale to help his family. Although touched, Tang Yun felt a little uncomfortable. It felt like Lin Yi was colluding with Fatty Lai to deceive them. However, Tang Yun, reflecting on her mother's personality, immediately understood Lin Yi's good intentions. If Fatty Lai acted like he was Lin Yi's younger brother, then her mother wouldn't spend a penny at all, and might even ask Fatty Lai directly for a house. What would she do if her mother demanded the house directly? How would she handle it? Thinking of this, Tang Yun couldn't help but feel grateful for Lin Yi's approach. "So that's how it is. I finally found a house I liked and was even trying to figure out if I could get a discount, but that person ended up jacking it up by 250,000. I'm so pissed." Seeing the friend Lin Yi had called in to help with a discount, Tang's mother immediately complained, "Do you have any houses similar to this one? And preferably at a better price, do you have any?" Fatty Lai asked, glancing at Manager Wang. Yes, Manager Wang was startled. What kind of relationship did this aunt have? How could she actually boss Mr. Lai around? He quickly flipped open the sales book, looked around, and then said, "There's another building next to the one Auntie liked that also has this apartment, but it's 30 meters larger and costs 1.2 million. What? 30 meters larger, and also 1.2 million, bawled Mr. Wu, who had also heard Manager Wang's call, asked instinctively, his eyes widening. He'd spent the same amount of money, but got a smaller house. How could that be? Yes, it's the same apartment, but it's in the building next door. The saleswoman nodded and smiled at bald Mr. Wu. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Didn't you say this was the only one left? Bald Mr. Wu didn't care about being pretentious at this point. He'd just spent 250,000 more for nothing, while the one over there, 30 meters larger and with the same layout, only cost 1.2 million. Wasn't that a huge loss? There's indeed only one apartment of this type left in this building and unit. The sales lady nodded and said, you were originally interested in this building, and you didn't say you wanted another one. Chapter 743 Smart Tang Yun. Huh? Bald Mr. Wu was stunned. That's right. He hadn't asked at the time, instead competing directly with Tang Yun's family. How could he have imagined that there was a larger house of the same size in the building next door? Then can I still change it? Sorry, your information is already connected to the internet and can't be changed. The sales lady shook her head regretfully. Never mind, I don't mind the small amount of money. I'll buy what I like. Bald Mr. Wu consoled himself through gritted teeth. That's right, we'll get a bigger house for the same price. Tang's mother was delighted this time and asked Fatty Lai, can we get a discount on this house? Yes, of course not. Fatty Lai thought for a moment and said, how about this? The house we just sold for an extra 250,000 yuan was also because we were competing with you, Auntie. So, I'll give you a 250,000 yuan discount on this one. It's still 950,000 yuan, and all other discounts remain the same. What do you think? Manager Wang, is this okay? Mr. Lai had already spoken, so how could Manager Wang dare to say no? This property belonged to Mr. Lai, and he was just an employee. So, he quickly said, okay, Mr. Lai says it's okay, so it must be okay, but Manager Wang was internally astonished. What exactly was the relationship between these people and Lai Chang'ai? They had actually slashed the price by 250,000 yuan, and even then, they were still enjoying other housing discounts. This was simply unprecedented. Bald Mr. Wu was already frustrated. He had wasted 250,000 yuan on a small house. That amount could have bought a larger one. But to show off his wealth, he'd tolerated it. But this Mr. Lai was actually using his own money to give Tang's mother a discount. Wasn't that a ripoff? He almost rolled his eyes and fainted. This pretense was such a failure. He felt like a fool. Not only had he failed to defraud Tang Yun's family, but he had actually lost 250,000 yuan himself. Not only did they buy the house they loved, but they also got a 250,000 yuan discount. Just as he was feeling down, Xiaoli returned from the lottery, clutching a rice cooker, a microwave, and an electric kettle. She happily declared, honey, look, I won so many prizes. I've saved money on appliances. What's the point of keeping these junk? You're just being petty. Bald Mr. Wu, upset at having lost 250,000 yuan, was furious when he saw Xiaoli so happy after winning so many lousy prizes. If it were a special prize or first prize, it would be fine, but you're showing off these junk? Why don't you get out of here? You're embarrassing yourself. Bald Mr. Wu couldn't stay any longer. It was too suffocating. He felt like he'd lost a lot today, the worst he'd ever lost. Xiaoli was completely bewildered by Mr. Wu's scolding and was dragged out of the sales office by him. Tang's mother pouted, scornfully watching the two of them from behind, and couldn't help but exclaim, what the hell? Are you dumbfounded? Tang's mother had been upset at not being able to buy a house. She had finally found a home, only to have it snatched away by someone else. How could she possibly feel good? But now, she was so happy she could almost jump for joy. Lin Yi was so influential, he'd easily gotten a 250,000 yuan discount. Such a great deal, she'd be grinning in her dreams. Accompanied by Fatty Lai and Manager Wang, Tang's mother went to see the house again, and this time, she was even more delighted. This house was noticeably larger. The previous one had 3 bedrooms and a living room, but this one had 4. The layout was similar except for the extra storage room, and the price was the same as before. It was an incredible value. Okay, I'll take this one. This time, Tang's mother decided without hesitation. Little Lai, it's so great that my little Yi has a friend like you. No. Fatty Lai wiped his sweat, thinking to himself, I'm lucky to have such a great boss. Otherwise, how could I be so powerful now? Even Liu Xianyi treats me with respect now. From now on, the Lai family will be a prominent family, the largest one at that, too, disdaining to associate with the 5 great worlds and the 4 smaller ones. Fatty Lai had a long-term vision. He felt that Lin Yi would eventually soar to prominence, so as long as he kept up with Lin Yi's pace, future wealth and glory would be within his grasp. Under Manager Wang's personal supervision, the contract was quickly signed. Tang's mother paid the money and won a chance to enter the lucky draw. Auntie, I'll take you to the lucky draw. Who was Manager Wang? He was a shrewd man in society. If he weren't astute, he wouldn't have been able to hold the position of sales office manager. He had figured out that Mr. Lai was no friend of Mr. Lin. He was clearly trying to curry favor. A 250,000 yuan discount, how could that be considered a discount? It was a complete loss. Manager Wang remained calm, however, as he prepared to offer Tang's mother a little more. Tang's mother knew her luck was bad, and she had never thought she'd win anything like this kind of lucky draw, but the description was excellent, promising a 100% chance of winning. Just now, Xiao Li had won 3 appliances. How could she be any worse off? Winning something like a microwave or a water heater would save a ton of money. Thinking of this, Tang's mother couldn't help but ask, Manager Wang, that person just drew 3 times. Can I draw 3 times too? If anyone else had asked that, Manager Wang would have been scornful. I've already given you a 250,000 yuan discount, and you're still concerned about these small prizes, but Manager Wang was already looking for an opportunity to help Fatty Lai curry favor with Tang's mother, so why wouldn't he agree? So, he smiled and said, Auntie, you should draw 3 times too. Okay, Tang's mother beamed. Tang Yun looked at her mother with a hint of helplessness. After her mother walked away, she whispered to Lin Yi, thank you. Oh, why thank me? Lin Yi smiled. You're asking even though you know the answer, Tang Yun snorted, ignoring Lin Yi. Lin Yi felt awkward, having been seen through by Tang Yun. It seemed Tang Yun wasn't stupid. The key point was that Tang Yun knew Fatty Lai was her younger brother, so her suspicions were understandable. Seeing that Tang Yun had seen through him, Fatty Lai wasn't embarrassed. Instead, he walked over with a smile. Boss, sister-in-law, are you satisfied with the house? Just don't lose money, Lin Yi hinted. No, what's the loss? I sold it for the capital. I'll just give sister-in-law a house while I'm building it, Fatty Lai said with a smile. Tang Yun was a little amused. Building a house, and even buying a house for sister-in-law? But since she hadn't lost money, Fatty Lai's words made her feel more at ease. Chapter 744 Winning the Prize. She knew she owed Lin Yi so much, and she didn't know how to repay him, which was why she had such thoughts. After all, she was just Lin Yi's girlfriend, not his wife. Well, thank you then, Tang Yun thanked Fatty Lai. Why thank me? It's nothing. Besides, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have earned that extra 250,000. Fatty Lai smiled and shook his head. I think Auntie has good luck. Maybe she'll win the grand prize. As she spoke, Tang's mother arrived at the raffle. She drew a card and took a look. It said electric water heater. Tang's mother was overjoyed. An electric water heater costs 1 or 2,000 yuan, and she got it for free. What a great deal. Congratulations, Ms. Wang, on winning an electric water heater. The MC tossed a card back into the raffle box, handed Tang's mother a receipt, and shouted congratulations. The raffle cards were reusable, not limited to a limited number. This meant that everyone had a chance to win first or second prize. It's just that there wasn't just one card with the electric water heater, and only one card with the grand prize and first prize. Even so, it fueled the enthusiasm of the home buyers. Everyone had a chance, rather than being eliminated once they won. So many buyers, already buying houses, were eagerly waiting for their lucky break. Tang's mother drew another card, one for an induction cooker. While it wasn't worth much, only a few hundred yuan, she remained delighted. Why would you want too much for something free? Tang's mother continued to draw, and no one questioned her. After all, some people who bought multiple houses at once, or even garage parking spaces, also had a chance to win. The MC congratulated her and gave her another ticket. This was her last chance, but Tang's mother was a little nervous. After she'd drawn, she hesitated to take it out. She also wanted to win the grand prize or first prize. She knew the odds were slim, but who wouldn't want to win big? Besides, if she won the grand prize, she could save on renovations and other expenses. That's a lot of money, at least over 100,000. But there were still people waiting to draw, so she couldn't just hold back, could she? Thinking of this, Tang's mother gritted her teeth and pulled out a ticket. She was a little afraid to look at it, but out of the corner of her eye, she saw it was an electric kettle. Tang's mother was immediately disappointed, her face changing slightly. It was such a missed opportunity. But before Tang's mother could pick up the ticket and hand it to the MC, Manager Wang snatched it away. He took one look and exclaimed in surprise, "Oh, this is incredible. Grand Prize. Today's first grand prize has been awarded. Congratulations, Ms. Wang. With that, Manager Wang tossed the ticket back into the lottery box and shook it deliberately, as if afraid someone else would find it. Tang's mother's mind suddenly boomed. Grand prize? How could it be possible? I clearly saw the words electric kettle written on it, which has nothing to do with the grand prize. How could it be the grand prize? I didn't see it clearly, and did Manager Wang not see it clearly either? He even threw the ticket back into the raffle box without waiting for me to confirm it. What on earth is going on? Tang's mother stood on the stage with a frozen expression, just like she had won the jackpot. The customers below didn't suspect anything, all thinking that Tang's luck was just too good. She won the grand prize like that. The MC was also slightly stunned, but since it was Manager Wang who announced it personally, he naturally didn't say much. He also happily congratulated. Congratulations. You've set a good omen for us all. You won the first grand prize. We won the first and second prizes before, but the grand prize hasn't appeared yet. I didn't expect that the winner would be you. Tang's mother was a little overwhelmed, but in her heart, she didn't want to say it out loud. How much money she saved? So, despite her confusion, Tang's mother nodded in agreement. I never thought I'd win a prize. I'm so lucky, haha. Ms. Wang, here's your redemption ticket. Keep it. You can go and complete the renovation paperwork later. Tell our renovation company about your ideas, and we'll be able to start construction then, the MC said with a smile. Okay, Tang's mother happily accepted the redemption ticket. Manager Wang accompanied her to claim the prize. No one suspected anything. After all, the previous first and second prize winners had been personally accompanied by Manager Wang. Of course, the first and second prize winners were real, but the grand prize winner was fake. However, since there was no limit on the number of grand prizes, no one would suspect the sales office of fraud. Even if it was fake, so what? They still had a chance of winning the grand prize. Tang Yun, in the audience, was also a little stunned. Her mother could win the grand prize? Was it real? Looking at her mother's expression, Tang Yun became skeptical. Others didn't understand her mother, so how could she not understand her? Is this the expression of someone who has won the lottery? It's clearly the expression of disappointment after not winning. Of course, some people will be stunned with joy after winning the lottery, but Tang Yun knew her mother would never do that. Thinking of her mother's beaming expression when she got 3 million yesterday, Tang Yun concluded that her mother definitely didn't win the lottery. As for this special prize, Tang Yun couldn't help but look at Fatty Lai, but saw that Fatty Lai seemed to know nothing and was talking to Lin Yi about a pharmaceutical company. Tang Yun sighed secretly. It was really hard for Lin Yi. He came up with so many ways to help his family just to avoid embarrassing himself. She was really useless. If she was like Chu Mengyao and the others, Lin Yi wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. It seemed that Lin Yi and the eldest lady were quite a match. Her appearance might just be a mistake. But this mistake had already happened. Tang Yun felt that she was already trapped and couldn't extricate herself. She didn't want to leave Lin Yi, but what should she do? Tang Yun was just thinking when her mother returned, beaming with joy. Yuner, your mom also won a prize, the grand prize. Fatty Lai nodded approvingly to Manager Wang. It seemed Manager Wang had a keen eye. Seeing Fatty Lai's approving gaze, Manager Wang beamed as well. It seemed he had done the right thing. Tang's mother didn't have any big requirements for the renovations. She knew nothing about them, and their bungalow had no decorations at all, so she couldn't offer any suggestions. She simply gave Manager Wang full responsibility, asking for a modern style. Chapter 745, The Secret. Manager Wang was content to hear that Tang's mother's request was simple. He could just have the design company create the best modern style. Auntie, how is the house? Are you satisfied? Fatty Lai asked when he saw Tang's mother approach. Satisfied, little Lai, you're a really good friend to Xiao Yi, Tang's mother praised. Haha, Auntie, I'm flattered by that, Fatty Lai laughed. It's almost noon, how about I treat everyone? Manager Wang was even more surprised. Mr. Lai had reduced the house price so much and helped so much, and it would be fine if Lin Yi didn't treat him, but he was even offering to do it? It seemed like these people were quite extraordinary. What should I do? I should treat you. Although Tang's mother was stingy, she knew that Fatty Lai had been very helpful today, so she quickly said, I just have something to ask you. Sure, let's find a restaurant nearby first. Fatty Lai nodded. The four of them left the sales office together. Tang's mother carefully put the contract away. This was worth hundreds of thousands, nearly $1 million. It was the first time in her life she had ever spent so much money. While she was excited, she also felt a sense of uncertainty, a sense of unreality. Take my car. Fatty Lai was driving an Audi Q7 SUV today. No thanks, I drove here too, Lin Yi said, pointing to his beat-up van. Tang's mother had actually wanted to ride in Fatty Lai's luxury car, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she had to give up. Although she still felt a little envious, Fatty Lai didn't mind. He got into Lin Yi's beat-up van and sat in the back with Tang's mother, leaving the passenger seat to Tang Yun. Lin Yi drove off and asked, "Where are we going to eat?" "Here." Fatty Lai found a restaurant that looked decent. At this hour, going too far wasn't practical. Lin Yi glanced at the restaurant entrance and saw the BMW he had stepped on earlier parked there. But Lin Yi didn't mind. He couldn't refuse to eat just because he was there, right? Besides, Lin Yi wasn't afraid of him at all. Fatty Lai, Lin Yi, and the other two entered the restaurant together. Fatty Lai paid no attention to the bald Mr. Wu and his mistress, Xiaoli. After all, they were just two minor figures, and Fatty Lai didn't take them seriously. Tang's mother was so engrossed in her joy that she didn't notice the situation at all. Tang Yun, however, spotted the bald Mr. Wu and his mistress sitting at a table on the left side of the hall. Lin Yi, is that Mr. Wu from earlier eating here too? Isn't it a bad idea for us to come here? Tang Yun hesitated. After all, she had taken advantage of him by 25%, and now it was a bit awkward to meet him on such a narrow road. Oh, then we should just get him out, so he doesn't upset my girlfriend, Lin Yi smiled. That's annoying. Why are you so overbearing? Tang Yun blushed. Oh, then just ignore him, Lin Yi shook his head. Fatty Lai asked the waiter for a private room. Actually, a private room for 4 people wasn't necessary, but Fatty Lai felt that a formal dinner was always appropriate. After settling into the private room, Fatty Lai, since it was Fatty's treat, ordered a few signature dishes before handing the menus to Tang's mother and Tang Yun. Auntie, sister-in-law, oh, Miss Tang, what would you like to order? Fatty Lai's words slipped up, but thankfully, Mother Tang didn't seem to notice, and she breathed a sigh of relief. Is this enough? There are only 4 of us. We can't eat so much, right? Mother Tang looked at the dishes Fatty Lai had ordered. They were all signature dishes, and more than enough. Yes, these are more than enough for 4 of us, the waiter nodded. While the restaurant naturally hoped to sell more, they couldn't let people order more than they could eat, right? Tang Yun's turn came. She only ordered a few drinks and no extra dishes. Fatty Lai had no choice but to add a dessert before waving the waiter off. The bald Mr. Wu, who was sitting nearby, also saw Lin Yi and his group and immediately frowned. What a narrow road for enemies. There were so many people at the sales office before, so we couldn't do anything to you. But you took the initiative to come here. Yes, Mr. Wu, these people are really mean. They made us spend an extra 250,000. Xiaoli felt a little distressed. Wouldn't it be better to keep the money for herself? It was just given away for nothing. She hadn't thought much about it when she bought a house before. After all, it was Mr. Wu's money at the time. But now that the house was hers, Xiaoli felt that the extra money was hers. I can't get over the hatred if I don't find someone to deal with them. Bald Mr. Wu was actually thinking, find someone to beat Lin Yi up, and then force him to leave Tang Yun. Then, if he showed up in a strong way, he would win the favor of Tang Yun's family. Then he would be close to winning the beauty. Yes, Mr. Wu, aren't you protected by Brother Chihua? Why don't you ask Brother Chihua? Xiaoli suggested. That's what I was planning, Bald Wu nodded. His taxi company was registered under Li Chihua's company, and he paid a high monthly tribute to Li Chihua. Otherwise, how could Bald Wu have become such a dominant figure in the Songshan city taxi industry? Because he had Li Chihua behind him, the other taxi companies dared not speak out. Who would dare to provoke Li Chihua? Bald Wu called Li Chihua. Li Chihua had just accompanied her brother through a silver needle removal surgery, which had left Li Dili crippled. After the needles were removed, his body was covered in holes, like a sieve, each wound as big as a bowl. It was a shocking sight. But to stay alive, he had no choice but to do so. Otherwise, if Lin Yi's sealed key were released, he would be dead. Brother, how am I going to live from now on? Even my little JJ has a hole dug in it. I'm so miserable, As soon as the anesthetic wore off, Lin Yi was in excruciating pain. Okay, stop howling. Who told you to provoke Lin Yi for no reason? Li Shihu glared at Li Li. Even young Master Bing doesn't know how to deal with Lin Yi now. What else can you do? But I won't give up. I want revenge. I want to tear Lin Yi into pieces. Li Li grimaced in pain. Just wait for young Master Bing to avenge you. Don't even think about it yourself. How could Li Shihu not hate Lin Yi in his heart? He also hated Lin Yi to the core, but what could he do even if he hated him to the core? He was completely helpless against Lin Yi and was very afraid of him. Because Lin Yi was even more domineering than herself, the Kaibing building was finally rebuilt. Thinking that it was collapsed by Lin Yi before, Li Shihu felt distressed. That was built with piles of silver, and it was gone just like that. Chapter 746 Return the silver needle to me. Li Li nodded, and could only wait for Bing Xiao to avenge him. Lin Yi was too powerful, even his brother was no match for him. Li Shihu comforted Li Li, and just as he left the ward, he received a call from bald Mr. Wu. Hello? Old Wu, what's up? Li Shihu asked. Brother Shihu, I've been bullied. My car got dented, and when I told them your name, they didn't care at all, saying, Brother Shihu, what the hell is that? Bald Mr. Wu, hoping to get Li Shihu to stand up for him, began to make up stories. In Songshan City, is there anyone who doesn't care about my reputation? Li Shihu was already furious, and hearing bald Mr. Wu's words, he became even more furious. Who is that person? I don't know. I took Xianli to buy a house today and ran into him at the sales office. It seems he has some connection with the sales manager, so he gave them a discount, bald Mr. Wu said. Buy a house? Okay, I'll take people there right away, Li Shihu nodded. How could someone who went to buy a house in person be a big shot? He was just in a bad mood now, so it would be good to find someone to vent his anger. Bald Mr. Wu was overjoyed. He felt that the money he had paid to Li Shihu over the years was not in vain. When he got into trouble, Li Shihu really helped him. Li Shihu actually thought highly of bald Mr. Wu. Although bald Mr. Wu did things outside under the banner of Li Shihu, bald Mr. Wu could really get money back every year. 5 million tribute a year, this is also a huge figure in the industries under Li Shihu. So when something happened to bald Mr. Wu, Li Shihu couldn't just ignore it. He personally took people there to show his care for bald Mr. Wu, so that when bald Mr. Wu paid tribute at the end of the year, he could pay more money to himself. It was a time of trouble, and Li Shihu was broke. Building a Kaibing building was already enough for him, and now he had to rebuild it again, draining all his savings over the years. Of course, he was desperately trying to get more money. Not long after, Li Shihu brought his men over. Mr. Wu, the bald man, was overjoyed and called out, Brother Shihu, here. Li Shihu nodded and led his men over. Old Wu, you're a well-known figure, why are you eating in the hall? We're just two people, just having a casual meal. There's no need for a fuss, Mr. Wu, the bald man, said quickly. Alright, where are those people you mentioned? Take me over there. I have other things to do after they're taken care of. Li Shihu felt a little beneath his dignity to handle such a matter personally, but he had no one else to rely on. Zhang Long and Li Yao had both been killed by Lin Yi, and Zhang Fabei was currently in the hospital with him. He really didn't have anyone else to rely on, so he had no choice but to go and handle it himself. However, this actually touched bald boss Wu deeply. Brother Shihu, they're in that private room over there. I'm so honored that you came in person. Don't worry, I'll add 10% to this year's management fee. Sure deal, Li Shihu thought to himself. Looks like you're quite understanding. It's worth my trip. Li Shihu, along with Su Niangwu and a few of his men, and bald boss Wu, arrived in front of the private room. The hotel staff saw this, but they didn't dare to approach. After all, Li Shihu and his group looked like they had bad intentions, especially those men, all burly men covered in tattoos. Kick the door, Li Shihu said lightly. Okay, bald Mr. Wu was also confident this time. With Li Shihu by his side, what was he afraid of? So, he kicked the door of the private room with a bang. He used all his strength on this kick. However, he didn't know that the door of the private room in this small restaurant was not strong at all, and it was not locked even if kicked. He kicked too hard and fell directly into the private room. He fell to the ground with a thump, prostrating himself. Li Shihu was so angry that his teeth were itching. What a hopeless person. He came here to make trouble, and you kowtowed to him as soon as you entered the door. What's the matter? Li Chihu had no choice but to follow him into the private room. He couldn't lose his momentum. Bald Mr. Wu's sudden intrusion made Lin Yi and others stunned. Is there something wrong with this guy? Li Chihu, upon entering, was about to start yelling and showing off, but when he saw Lin Yi in the private room, he froze. Bald Boss Wu naturally didn't see Li Chihu's expression clearly. He was still groaning, but after finally getting up from the ground, he pointed at Lin Yi and shouted, "Brother Chihu, it's this guy. He's the one who kicked my car, and he doesn't even take you seriously." Li Chihu's back was covered in cold sweat. "Lin Yi? How could you be so unlucky? I was just helping my subordinates and I ran into Lin Yi. Doesn't he just not take me seriously? Not only does he not take me seriously, he doesn't take Bing Xiao seriously either. But what can I do to him?" Li Chihu was a little embarrassed, not knowing what to say. He had wanted to say that they had come to the wrong private room and take his men away, but Bald Boss Wu had exposed the matter, leaving him with no way to smooth things over. Lin Yi. Li Chihu was a little embarrassed. "Brother Chihu, are you here to give me some silver needles?" Lin Yi glanced at Li Chihu and said lightly, "Your brother's silver needles have been pulled out, right? Return them to me quickly, they are quite expensive." Li Chihu's expression instantly became extremely wonderful. "The silver needles still need to be returned? This is too bullying, right? How much is a box of silver needles worth?" But he really didn't dare to get angry directly. Lin Yi's strength is there, and Lin Yi is simply a violent maniac who is fearless. He dares to beat up Bing Xiao, let alone himself. Li Chihu didn't want to be beaten into disability by Lin Yi. So he could only force a smile and said, "It's just a box of silver needles, do you care?" "Oh, you like silver needles? How about I give you a few more?" Lin Yi said, and took out the silver needle box from his pocket. Li Chihu saw the silver needle box and was immediately frightened and turned pale. Damn, what does this mean? Does Lin Yi want to get a few more silver needles on himself? Li Chihu couldn't stand that. So, she hurriedly said, I don't like it. I'll go back and get the needles and bring them to you right away." Li Chihu didn't dare say anything more and turned and left the room. Su Niangua and the others who had followed Li Chihu saw her leave and quickly left as well. Only Bald Boss Wu was left standing there, stunned and bewildered. What was going on? Li Chihu had come to vent her anger, so why did she run away after just a few words? And she had to get the needles from this person? Chapter 747 Sent Back. Bald Mr. Wu is also a man who has seen the world. He can immediately see that the situation is not good. Ever since Li Chihu saw the people in the box, he has no intention of helping him again. Moreover, it seems that Li Chihu is still very afraid of the people in the box, so he walked away in disgrace. "Sorry, I went to the wrong door. This meal is mine, it's my treat." Bald Mr. Wu is not stupid. He knows the current situation. If he can't figure out the situation, he can only wait for death. Even Li Chihu can't afford to offend people. How can Bald Mr. Wu afford to offend? "Okay, go away quickly, don't disturb us while we're eating." Mother Tang waved her hand with a coercive look, indicating that Bald Mr. Wu could leave. She felt so happy in her heart. "You are not convinced? You find someone to come? So what? Aren't you scared away by my son-in-law?" What about Li Chihu? Although he was a renowned figure in Songshan City, once considered a legendary figure in Tang's mother's eyes, he now seemed nothing more than a coward. Tang's mother thought to herself that she would become a Songshan City celebrity one day, and even Li Chihu would be no match for him. Bald Mr. Wu quickly turned and left, returning to his table, dusty and grimy. Mr. Wu, what happened just now? I saw Chihu leave right after he arrived. Xiaoli hadn't followed him, not understanding the situation. Don't mention it. I'm in trouble now. I ran into a powerful person, and even Chihu doesn't dare to mess with me. Just admit it. Bald Mr. Wu, a bachelor, knew he was in trouble, so he didn't try to resist. Waiter, the waiter hurried over. They had seen the commotion Bald Mr. Wu had caused, but since neither party had said anything, they didn't want to interfere. Sir, is there anything I can help you with? The waiter asked quickly. The meal fee for that private room is on me. Bald Wu pointed at Lin Yi's private room and said to the waiter. The waiter was stunned. Bald Wu had obviously gone to that private room to pick a fight, so why was he paying for it now? However, the details of what happened were none of his business, so after a moment of hesitation, he quickly nodded, Yes, sir, After the waiter left, Bald Wu breathed a sigh of relief. Damn it, if I had known the person in that private room was so powerful, I wouldn't have provoked him. Isn't this just looking for trouble, huh? Xiao Li was immediately discouraged at the sight. Who else could they afford to provoke if even Li Chihu couldn't afford to offend? But now she was a little scared. Mr. Wu, they won't retaliate against us, right? Probably not. We are just small fry. If he wants to go after someone, he'll go after Li Chihu. He doesn't even know who we are. Bald Wu was quite open-minded. I think we should get going quickly. Let's not stay here. What if they come out and see us still here and start messing with us? Xiao Li was still a little worried. Who's going to pay for them after we leave? Bald Wu said. I was very sincere just now. They didn't make trouble for me. It's obvious they don't take me seriously. So don't be afraid. Let's get on with eating. How could Xiao Li eat anymore? After taking a few sips of her drink, she sat back and waited for Lin Yi and the others to finish. Bald Wu was also feeling the same way, sitting on pins and needles, just waiting for them to finish quickly. Li Chihu got into the car as soon as they left and headed straight for the hospital. Xuanyuan Yulong naturally knew who Lin Yi was and that it was because of him that Li Chihu and Bing Xiao were so angry lately. Brother Chihu, are we really going to get the silver needles for him? Would that weaken our morale? Xuanyuan Yulong hadn't expected Li Chihu to actually go get the silver needles. What if we don't take it? Until we figure out how to deal with this brat, we can only adopt a policy of appeasement and appeasement. Don't provoke him, Li Chihu sighed. He felt deeply frustrated. Ever since he'd relied on the Zhao family and made his fortune in Songshan City, he hadn't felt as aggrieved. But now there was nothing he could do. The few experts around him had either been killed or injured by Lin Yi. Even his medicine king wasn't very effective, and his poison had been cracked. How could he possibly fight him? Xuanyuan Yulong thought about it and realized it was the same thing. What if you weren't weak? If you couldn't defeat him, you'd just be bullied. Li Chihu asked Xuanyuan Yulong to retrieve the silver needle from the hospital and return to the restaurant. Bold Boss Wu was waiting for Lin Yi to finish his dinner so he could pay the bill, but Lin Yi hadn't finished and had sent Li Chihu over again. Seeing Li Chihu, Bald Boss Wu was overjoyed. Could Li Chihu be bringing people here for revenge? But a closer look revealed something else entirely. This time, only Li Chihu and Xuanyuan Yulong were in the restaurant. All the younger followers were gone. Bald Mr. Wu quickly stood up and greeted Li Chihu, but Li Chihu waved him off impatiently. Li Chihu arrived at the door of Lin Yi's private room and knocked carefully. Only after receiving an answer from the inside did she step inside. Lin Yi, I brought the silver needles. Li Chihu gritted her teeth and placed the silver needles on the table. Oh, thank you, you can go now, Lin Yi nodded. By the way, thank you for the 3 million yesterday. It helped my girlfriend's family buy a big house. No thanks, no thanks. Li Chihu felt her face burning. She was considered a big shot, yet she was treated like a clown. Li Chihu didn't know how she walked out of the restaurant. It was so embarrassing. It was so humiliating. If she had known earlier, she would not have come here. Not only did she not do anything to Lin Yi, but she was humiliated by him. She would never be able to sleep or eat until she got her revenge. Li Chihu decided to go back and discuss with Bing Xiao how to take revenge on Lin Yi. Back at the Jelly Fuyan bar, Li Chihu didn't hold back and told Bing Xiao everything that had happened today. Now there was no question of whether or not to be embarrassed, as he had already lost all the people he had lost. That Lin Yi is really arrogant. Zhao Kaibing frowned after hearing what Li Chihu said. I came to Songshan City to start a business, and with Lin Yi around, everything has gone wrong. So far, I haven't made a penny, but I've lost a lot. By the way, how is the Kaibing building going? Is it finished? It's already completed and in the final stages. I found the most professional construction team in the country, and this speed is already the fastest, Li Chihu said. Since there's no way to deal with Lin Yi, let's build up the group's business first, Zhao Kaibing said. We'll slowly figure out how to deal with Lin Yi. There's no rush. The demolition of the shanty towns must continue. This is our first project, and we have to do it well. Chapter 748. Are you kissing? Didn't we pause temporarily because of Lin Yi's situation? How about we resume work tomorrow? Li Chihu asked. Yes, continue. Raise that land, Zhao Kaibing nodded. Bing Xiao, according to our plans, there's an orphanage right next to the shanty town. Do you think we can also take possession of the orphanage's land? The shantytown land wasn't square, but rather an L-shaped plot, with a section dedicated to the orphanage. Initially, Li Shihu hadn't considered the orphanage, but now that they've lost 100 million on the headquarters building and another 3 million to Lin Yi, they're suddenly in the red. It's going to be hard to recoup their losses with just the shantytown. Orphanage, Bing Xiao thought for a moment and asked, "What's the background?" "Nothing much. It's just a private charity, and the original land was donated." Li Shihu is quite familiar with the situation. "Okay, you go talk to someone and take it down together. We're building a high-end modern residential complex, and we have to recover the losses we suffered previously. Otherwise, I won't be able to justify it to my dad." Zhao Kaibing didn't care when he heard it was a private orphanage. What other background could it have? "Young Master Bing, are we still going to have the completion ceremony for the group building this time?" Li Shihu suddenly remembered the last completion ceremony and asked. "What the hell? Wasn't it embarrassing enough last time?" Young Master Bing glared at Li Shihu. Talking about this, young Master Bing became furious. "You want me to attend the completion ceremony in a wheelchair? This Lin Yi is like a time bomb, lying in ambush on the road, and he might explode at any moment. If we don't get rid of him, we'll be in constant fear, but this guy doesn't seem to be injured at all. Uncle Zhu is no match for him, and neither is the king of medicine. What can we do?" Li Shihu was really at his wit's end. "Huh? A time bomb?" Li Shihu's eyes suddenly lit up after hearing young Master Bing's words. "What's wrong with a time bomb? Do you have any good ideas?" The young soldier also saw Li Shihu's expression and asked hurriedly. "There's an old saying that goes, no matter how good your martial arts skills are, you are still afraid of guns and cannons. Why do we have to confront him head-on? Why not adopt some strategies?" Li Shihu suggested. "You mean, we use hot weapons to deal with him?" The young soldier was slightly stunned. "What you said about a time bomb just now reminded me that we can install a time bomb in his car. When he drives away, he will be killed by the explosion." Li Shihu finally thought of a way to deal with Lin Yi. Install a time bomb in his car? That's a good idea, but the opportunity is not easy to find. When the young soldier heard Li Shihu's suggestion, it was indeed a good idea. At least there was no need to confront Lin Yi head-on. Who knows if Lin Yi's strength has recovered? Well, no matter whether his strength has recovered or not, just kill him with a bomb directly. Let's see how arrogant he can be. "I do have an idea," Li Shihu pondered for a moment before saying, "but it might cost a bit of money." "It doesn't matter how much money it costs, as long as we can kill Lin Yi. If Lin Yi is dead, whatever we spend now, we'll make back later." Zhao Kaibing waved his hand nonchalantly. "That's easy," Li Shihu said. "Then we can do this." Li Shihu laid out a plan. After listening, the young soldier paused for a moment before nodding. "Okay, then, let's do it. Find someone to arrange this immediately. The sooner the better. I don't want Lin Yi to be alive any longer." "Don't worry, young soldier, leave these things to me. I have connections." Li Shihu nodded. After Lin Yi and the others finished their meal, Fatty Lai was about to pay the bill, but upon asking, he learned that Bald Boss Wu had already taken it. Fatty Lai no longer refused, knowing that this was Lin Yi's skill, and agreed to treat him next time. He didn't want to bother Lin Yi any further, so he took a taxi out of the hotel. Lin Yi drove Tang's mother back to the hospital. Tang's mother had just bought a house, so naturally she had to discuss the floor plan with Tang Zhechen. Lin Yi and Tang Yun returned to school. "Thank you for today," Tang Yun said to Lin Yi as they got out of the car. "Why are you thanking me?" Lin Yi smiled. "You still owe me a kiss, right? When will you deliver?" Tang Yun's face immediately flushed. She thought about the promise she'd made, and it seemed like she hadn't kept it. She was about to refuse, but then she remembered that Chen Yashu had said that she and Chu Mengyao had both kissed Lin Yi. She felt a little annoyed. She was Lin Yi's girlfriend, and she hadn't even kissed him, yet someone else got there first? Nervously, Tang looked around, seeing no one seemed to be around. Then she quickly kissed Lin Yi on the cheek and said hurriedly, "Okay, I'll give it back to you." "That doesn't count as a kiss, does it?" Lin Yi said, a little amused. "Why not? I said it counts, so forget it." It was not easy for Tang Yun to do this. "Oh, okay, then let it count." Lin Yi touched the cheek that Tang Yun had kissed. It seemed that it felt pretty good. But why did it feel similar to when Zhao Shu kissed him? Of course, Lin Yi didn't dare to say this feeling out loud, otherwise Tang Yin would kick him to death. The two of them were a little unsure of what to do next when they heard a cry of surprise. "Wow, I was wondering why you two skipped class to hide here and kiss." Liu Xinwen ran over breathlessly, her voice loud and clear. She had seen Lin Yi's car passing by from a distance, but she just shouted, but Lin Yi didn't hear her. So Liu Xinwen chased after him, all the way to the snack street behind the school, and then saw Tang Yun kiss Lin Yi. So, Liu Xinwen ran over quickly as if she had heard big news. "Xinwen, what are you talking about? How could we kiss?" Tang Yun would certainly not admit what she had done before, nor would she admit to Liu Xinwen. Otherwise, if Liu Xinwen knew, everyone would know. "Am I dazzled? I clearly saw you kissing Lin Yi." Liu Xinwen was not so easily fooled. "Let's talk in private." Tang Yun glared at Liu Xinwen. "You are the only one making a fuss. Why are you not in the classroom? What are you doing running out? It's lunch break now. You are not in school." "I had nothing to do by myself, so I just wandered around the school gate. Suddenly I saw Lin Yi's car passing by. I called out to you, but you didn't hear me, so I ran over," Liu Xinwen said. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 749 Group Photo. "Oh, we went to buy a house this morning." Tang Yun's heart suddenly filled with sweetness when she mentioned buying a house. In the past, when her family encountered such misfortune, they didn't know if they could survive, let alone buy a house. Now, their family may be the best off in the entire shantytown. While everyone is still waiting for the demolition, they have already moved into a building. Liu Xinwen listened with some envy. "Yunayan, you are really lucky. We are waiting for the demolition and don't know when we will get the compensation. The specific compensation and how much the developer will compensate are still undecided. This makes everyone panic all day long, isn't it? Because my father's leg was broken, and they gave us compensation." Tang Yun sighed, not knowing whether it was because of her father's broken leg or because she met Lin Yi. The earth-shaking changes in her family were witnessed by Tang Yun and remembered them in her heart. This was all thanks to Lin Yi, so Tang Yun sometimes treated Lin Yi with a grateful heart. "If someone offered me 3 million, I'd rather have both my legs broken." Liu Xinwen truly envied Tang Yun. Her words might have sounded a bit harsh, but they were true. The residents of the shanty towns were essentially the working class at the bottom of society. Who among the wealthy would live here? They were either laid-off workers or the unemployed, relying on small businesses and hard labor to make ends meet. Just like Liu Xinwen's parents, they both worked for others, earning barely enough a month to support their family. The family had virtually no savings. Forget buying a house. Even renting a place without their own would be incredibly difficult. I hope the developer has some conscience and compensates us. Then I can ask Lin Yi to help us buy a discounted house in a less desirable location. It shouldn't be a problem, Tang Yun said, looking at Lin Yi. She might ignore others, but Liu Xinwen and Ziafen had been friends since childhood. How could he just watch their family fall into poverty? But Tang Yun didn't want to put Lin Yi in a difficult position. She simply asked him to help them buy a discounted apartment in a less desirable location. When developers were clearing out their properties, the remaining units, with less desirable layouts and floors, were sold at a special price. Since Lin Yi had connections, he should be able to get one, right? "Oh, of course," said Lin Yi, who was quite familiar with Liu Xinwen. "A unit with a less desirable location should be quite a discount. Thank you so much." Liu Xinwen was touched by Lin Yi's words. She felt that Lin Yi was quite a man of integrity, and that Tang Yun's heart was truly in his. Kang Lighting would never have done that. As for the layout and location, Liu Xinwen didn't really care. Even if it was worse, it was still a building, and it was much better than living in a shanty town, right? The three of them returned to school together. Lin Yi and Tang Yun parted ways at the door of Class 9, Grade 3, and Lin Yi went into his own class. The classroom was not crowded. It was obvious that few people were in school today, and since it was lunch break, the crowds were even smaller. The eldest lady and Chen Yashi were both there, reading in their seats. Seeing Lin Yi enter, the eldest lady looked up at Lin Yi, then lowered her head to focus on her own book. Chen Yashi wanted to call Lin Yi, but was afraid Chu Mengyao wouldn't agree. She opened her mouth, then closed it again, continuing to read. Lin Yi shook his head and returned to his seat. Kang Xiaobo wasn't there. The boy must have taken advantage of the day to spend time with Xiaofan. Lin Yi sat in his seat, feeling a bit bored. Sister Yao, Arrow brother is back. Should we take a picture with him? Chen Yushu pulled the digital camera out of her bag. Senior year was almost over, and with it, 3 years of high school life. Since there were no classes today, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu had brought their cameras and took some photos around campus, documenting this final stretch of high school. Why do we need him? Chu Mengyao was tempted, but she asked in return. Graduation is here, and Arrow is leaving, Chen Yushu said, her voice a little lost. Sister Yao, you're right. Arrow can't be with us forever. We'll have to part ways someday. Chu Mengyao's heart tightened at Chen Yushu's words. Lin Yi was leaving? Yes, he was leaving eventually. High school was over, so what reason did he have to stay? Lin Yi had driven away those hostile people from his father's company, and his annoying suitors, Zhong Pinliang and Xuanyuan, had both had their kidneys removed and were hospitalized. Lin Yi's mission was successfully accomplished. Perhaps, after high school graduation, when Xiaoshu and I went to college and lived on campus, Lin Yi wouldn't stay in the villa anymore. What would he do? Rent a place and live with Tang Yun? The thought of this possibility filled the young lady with mixed feelings. She had originally been living with Xiaoshu and herself, but now she had to live with Tang Yun. Should she give up this happiness? But what if she didn't? Lin Yi wasn't even close to her. Why would he stay? Just for the 30,000 yuan salary? Chu Mengyao found it a bit amusing. If Lin Yi didn't care about 3 million, what would 30,000 mean? Then let's keep it as a souvenir, Chu Mengyao sighed. Send him a text. Chen Yushu took out her phone and quickly sent a text to Lin Yi. Lin Yi was bored when his phone vibrated. He glanced at the message, which was from Chen Yushu. Go to the playground and take a picture of me and Sister Yao as a souvenir? Lin Yi was slightly startled. In the past, the young lady had never revealed their relationship at school, so what had happened today? Was it Xiaoshu's idea? Lin Yi didn't reply to the text. He simply stood up and walked towards the classroom door, confident that Chen Yushu would understand what he meant. Sure enough, not long after Lin Yi left, the young lady and Chen Yushu followed him out. In the hallway, Chen Yushu stopped Lin Yi. Brother Arrow. Chu Mengyao hesitated, wanting to say something, but then she realized that so many people knew about her relationship with Lin Yi, so why would she care? Moreover, she had also announced to Tang Yun that she would compete with her for Lin Yi. Now she was being secretive, as if she was afraid of her. Thinking of this, the eldest lady also changed her previous unfamiliarity with Lin Yi. She raised her head and pulled Chen Yushu. Xiaoshu, let's take a photo in the corridor? We can even take a picture of our class signs here, okay? Chen Yushu ran over and handed the camera to Lin Yi. Please take a photo for us. Chapter 750. Come and take pictures for us. Lin Yi took the camera and nodded. The classrooms for grade 35 and grade 39 weren't far from each other, and since they were all in self-study, the atmosphere was relatively quiet. Chen Yushu's brother Arrow was a bit abrupt, and Tang Yun, sitting by the corridor window, which was always open in the summer, heard it all. She was very sensitive to Chen Yushu's unique way of addressing Lin Yi, and when she looked up, she saw Lin Yi taking the camera and taking pictures of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Tang Yun frowned. She still couldn't figure out whether Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu liked Lin Yi, or if one of them liked him. Or maybe neither of them liked him. Liu Xinwen, who had also heard Chen Yushu's voice, peeked out of the classroom and saw Lin Yi taking pictures of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. She quickly texted Tang Yun. Tang Yun, feeling a little annoyed by Liu Xinwen's message, replied, I understand, put her phone back in her pocket, and lowered her head to read. The college entrance exam was just a few months away, so she had to study hard. It was good to be with Lin Yi, but she couldn't let it affect her studies. If she didn't get into college, the gap between her and Lin Yi would be even bigger. Tang Yun understood this very well. Seeing that Tang Yun hadn't responded since she replied to her text message, Liu Xinwen waited for a while, but still nothing happened. So, she couldn't help but leave the classroom to look for Tang Yun. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu also saw Liu Xinwen, but Lin Yi couldn't see her since his back was turned. Sister Yao, someone's gone to snitch, Chen Yushu said. Don't say that. It's not really snitching. Although Chu Mengyao said this, She felt a little nervous. Would Tang Yun come over soon? But what if she did? She hadn't done anything shameful. Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao felt relieved. Liu Xinwen came to Tang Yun's window. Tang Yun didn't expect Liu Xinwen to come in person, and she felt a little annoyed. She thought, let them take pictures. What does it have to do with us? Wouldn't it be even more embarrassing to get involved? It was like she was spying on Lin Yi. Yunayan, you're not pretending you didn't see me coming, are you? Liu Xinwen asked Tang Yun, leaning over the windowsill. What for? I need to study. Tang Yun waved the workbook in her hand. Going out for a walk? Liu Xinwen asked. What for? Tang Yun hesitated, then asked back. She knew exactly why Liu Xinwen wanted her out, nothing more than to go find Lin Yi. They're taking pictures, so why don't we? We're graduating soon, so we should keep a souvenir, Liu Xinwen said. Let's not go. I don't think that's a good idea. Tang Yun hesitantly shook her head. Why not? Liu Xinwen said, then called out to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, with Lin Yi's keen senses, how could he not notice that Liu Xinwen had gone to find Tang Yun? Although Lin Yi was taking pictures of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu, he was still keeping a close eye on them. Hearing Liu Xinwen call him, Lin Yi knew something was up again. He turned around with a smile. What's up? Tang Yun said she hasn't taken a picture with you yet, Liu Xinwen said. What did I say? Don't say that. Tang Yun was suddenly embarrassed. Why did Liu Xinwen say that? Then let's take a picture together, the eldest lady spoke. At this moment, Chu Mengyao felt that there was no need to be petty. It was just a picture. What was the big deal with Tang Yun coming? If she didn't let Tang Yun join, she would seem petty. She was the eldest lady. She had to fight, but she also had to fight and not fight. If she was fussy about everything, she would be an unreasonable shrew. Let's go, Yunayan, study now. I don't believe you can learn. Liu Xinwen glanced at the workbook in Tang Yun's hand. It seemed to be the same handwriting as before. She hadn't touched it at all. She had used a charcoal marker before, but now a blue ballpoint pen. Tang Yun was dragged out of the classroom by Liu Xinwen. Tang Yun finally gave up her shyness. It was true that she and Lin Yi had never taken a picture together. They met at number 1 high school. If she didn't have a picture together, it would be a pity. When she looked back later, she might regret not having saved a fragment of the memory. Lin Yi, shall I take a picture of you too? Liu Xinwen took the camera from Lin Yi. I haven't finished taking pictures yet. Chen Yashu was unhappy, but after thinking about it, she ran to Lin Yi's side. Tang Yun stood on the right side of Lin Yi, and Chen Yashu stood on the left side of Lin Yi. It just so happens that I haven't taken a picture with Brother Arrow yet. Tang Yun was suddenly a little embarrassed. She was taking a picture with Lin Yi, and why did she come in? Liu Xinwen was also immediately furious, but Tang Yun didn't say anything, so what else could she say? She picked up the camera and took a somewhat weird photo of the three of them as a couple. Sister Yao, are you coming too? Chen Yashu waved to Chu Mengyao. Chu Mengyao wanted to go over, but she didn't want to. With Tang Yun here, why should she join in the fun? Chu Mengyao, let's take a picture together? We are friends after all. Keep it as a souvenir. Tang Yun saw the embarrassment of the eldest lady. Since she had generously asked her to come out to take pictures just now, why not ask her to join in? Chu Mengyao then hesitantly walked over, thought for a moment, and finally stood next to Chen Yashu. Liu Xinwen pressed the shutter, and the four-person couple's photo was ready. After taking the photo, Chen Yashu wanted to join in the fun, but Chu Mengyao pulled her aside, preventing her from joining in, giving Lin Yi and Tang Yun a chance to take a photo alone. Although Tang Yun and Liu Xinwen's phones could take pictures, their camera capabilities were ultimately far inferior to digital cameras, and their families didn't allow them to buy digital cameras. Although Tang Yun's family had some money now, they hadn't had time to buy one, or perhaps Tang Yun hadn't even considered buying one. So, after Lin Yi and Tang Yun took their photo, Liu Xinwen also took hers. Finally, it was Chen Yashu who suggested taking a photo together. It wasn't easy for the five of them to meet each other. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu had also met Liu Xinwen that night at Fatty Lai's house. But for a photo of 5 people together, there had to be someone to take the photo, right? Although the camera had a selfie function, there was nowhere to put it. Just as she was wondering what to do, she saw Zhu Ruiming walking towards her not far away, dribbling a basketball. His reason for coming to school every day was to hang out with a few of his friends, eat, drink, play basketball, and show off. Of course, he'd been showing off less recently, for a simple reason: Lin Yi was too powerful, and he didn't dare offend him. So Zhu Ruiming could only play basketball in peace. "Hey, classmate, take a picture for us." Liu Xingwen didn't realize it was Zhu Ruiming who was coming over. She was just grabbing someone to take a picture. Zhu Ruiming almost exploded when he heard what Liu Xingwen said. Damn, a tiger in plain sight being bullied by a dog? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.